Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. My goodness. I've actually got a message from somebody going, are you coming on? I'm here. My goodness. Oh, you're so demanding. How is everybody? Is everybody here? Are we present? Is everyone there? Are you there? Oh my goodness. I have the opposite problem this week. Last week's issue, who'd have thought? Last week's issue was very much a case of everything was completely disorganised, everything was up in the air, it's all a bit drama, oh my goodness, whereas this week it's kind of the opposite of, I'm too organised, so I've actually come in completely chilled, wandered off from the desk because I had time, and subsequently been a bit late. So sorry about that. Hello everybody, how are we all? Is everyone well? I hope you're all having a good Monday. Some of you are going to be in the middle of the day. I hope I sound okay actually. Do I sound okay? Does everything sound good? I hope everything sounds good. As much as it ever does. Insomnia. My goodness. Took you, Robin? Really? That's how you're going to be? Vincent? Good evening, Vincenzo. Are you well, buddy? I hope you will. I hope you're having a good day. So I was actually too organised this week. I sort of came into it like, I've got time, I can relax, which subsequently means I'm late. I don't know what I'm better under, stress or just chilling. Possibly neither. So I now have to bug everybody with just messages to the masses. So if you're on Discord, which if you're a member you should be, or you're following on, let's get this right, on Reddit, because we're there, you're just going to get pinged over there. And if you've got us on Facebook, which you should, come on, do the thing. Thank you, doing the thing. Then you just got a lovely message there too. Patreon, do you as well. Always good to see Patreons around the place. Ping. Oh, glorious. Oh, I don't know what else to do. I'm going to be there in a minute. Just shush. Got to turn that button on. Throw that switch. Fine. I love the optimism of YouTube because it's, if you turn monetization on a live stream, it's like, hey, you can like mid-roll, like in the middle of it, you can go to ads. I could appreciate the optimism. Not going to happen, but you know, it's cute. Love your thinking. I think there's one more place I'm going to send it. Just there. Poof, do the thing. Updating just takes, thank you, it just takes so long. Right, I believe we are now in the room. Kaz, my goodness, Kaz is here. Blissful Badger is in both places. You glorious human being. Thank you so much for just being everywhere. That's just fantastic. Nicola Ristic, hello. Welcome. Good to see you, buddy. How is everybody? Are we having a fantastically glorious, beautiful Monday? I hope you are. I hope it's going well. Yeah. I've had a Monday. I've had a busy one. There's a lot going on at the moment. And Corvus Belli has been playing with my emotions, which some people know and some people don't. We got given today, about 4 p.m. was when I picked up on it. I think it was out earlier, but we got given the new releases for Warcrow for December. We got given the cards. Oh boy. So I saw that and just sort of glumped it, just head height, took it down, just download everything, stick it up, get it organised, started reading everything up, get it organised, get my thoughts, nice little thing to show to you guys tonight. And I was like, I'm just going to make sure there's no changes, and went back in, and then there was a little notification saying, oh yeah, you can't show it yet. I mean, I get that it's their toys, I get they want to show the toys first, but I was ready to do it. I'm saying, I've seen it. I've seen the stuff, all of the things that are coming. You know, personally, I think there's one clear winner in the month of December for Warcrow, one very clear winner. And a couple, and then it's good. It's quite a good month. I think it's going to be. If you're and you collect, it's going to be good. And the rest, you know, it's fine. But I can't tell you about it. I wish that I could. I just can't. It's very sad. Oh. Mike, good evening. Hello, buddy. Did you get sorted with because we were having issues? We've had lots of issues this week with like memberships on various platforms, mostly on Patreon actually. Did you get that sorted in the end, Mike? Because because Chris was having the same issue as well, which was just, glad you're doing well, Blissful Badger. Gaz, you want to see the stuffs? I want to show you the stuffs. The stuffs there's like on my desktop, and then you guys, I mean, you wouldn't tell anyone. It's not like anyone would know. Just keep it between us, right? Totally fine. I don't see their issue. CB works in mysterious ways. At least they're consistently keeping us confused. They're consistently keeping themselves confused, I feel. No, it was one of those things where I think they know what their view is, but the content creator program for Corvus Belli is still very shiny. It's very shiny. We've got no dirt anywhere. It's all organised and it's all pretty and all the rest of it. So you kind of not really, the rules aren't clear yet. Let's put it that way. Sometimes you're like, is this, and they kind of go, clearly not. Oh, okay. I didn't pick that up, but okay. We're getting there. It could just be me because it's one of those Discord groups, and I think we all have them, that if you turn your back on it for more than 3 or 4 minutes at a time, it just goes, and there's just stuff all over the top. So, YouTube. Yeah, that was it, Mike. I remember you told me, didn't you? You had a moment. You definitely had a moment. Trying to watch member videos on YouTube when you've joined on Patreon doesn't work. I don't know why. I don't see an issue with it, but it's just the world we live in. Very disappointing. But yeah. So no Warcrow this week on that front. I think because I've got all the assets ready, I'm just going to record a video, and because they've said as soon as we put it out in the world, you can put it out in the world. So if you watch closely, what you'll probably see is the first couple of videos come down from Corvus Belli for the releases for December, and that would just be like bang. There'll just be a high speed Dice Gods video coming across, covering it all. So that's something to look forward to. It's quite cool. I have thoughts. I find that hard to believe. I'm normally quite subtle and quite neutral on the stuff that I think. But we are going to talk about some new stuff today. We are going to talk about the new stuff for Eldfall Chronicles. I actually have an exclusive, which is kind of funky, courtesy of a gentleman by the name of Sebastian, I think that's right, who, yeah, sorted me out like a boss. It's not a thing I should say, but you know what I mean. You know when somebody just does you a solid, and yeah, he absolutely did. He absolutely sorted me out. So, in fact, he asked me to tell him when I was online, so I've just told him that I'm online, because then he can come see. So we're going to talk about the fantastic work, one very specific piece of fantastic work that Sebastian did later. My wife's not smacking it here. Robin, it's a matter of time. Let's be honest. It's just a delay in the inevitable. Your wallet may survive for this 5 minutes, but I'll get it. Sooner or later, it's going to happen. So there's that to look forward to. I'm still painting the first set. I love the concept. Somebody in our local group chat said the other day, you know, before you order the next miniatures, just paint the last lot. I nearly hemorrhaged something. I was laughing so hard. I was thinking, really? Oh, really? Damn. I mean, that's a thing. It's not a thing I'd do, but it's definitely a thing you could do. Lovely guy, just very enthusiastic about certain concepts that I don't necessarily agree with. So yes. Right, now, what do we need? I would like you guys, if you have a Twitch account, please go and stick that on and give me a follow, because I'm really nearly at a point where that's going to start, I'm going to start getting the ticks that I need to make that worth doing, I think, which would be good. Because then, when I start doing the stuff to painting, I'm going to paint online. I've got some stuff coming up where we're going to shoot, I think I've mentioned we're going to shoot certain types of hobby skills for painting here. So I've got some new equipment. Because what do you think of the new layout? I've done a new layout for the thing, because now I'm a streamer, you know. I need to get some plushies. That's the thing that needs to happen next. Anyway, I've changed the layout, but part of it is getting a new set of lights so that I can shoot the Sebastian. There's the little legend. That's everyone say hi to Sebastian. Sebastian is in no small part responsible for the stuff you're going to see about Eldfall later. He's not good. There's like this bit with the stuff, and then the later bit, the stuff that no one else apart from people on the Eldfall group and people that was at Spouts. Quite a few people have seen it, but you certainly haven't, so you can look forward to that. He's responsible. So yes, be nice to him. He's a very nice person. What was I talking about? Updating. Yes, so we are going to do the shooting of these videos for AK Interactive, where we are going to talk about like some weathering stuff and some oil stuff and some pin washing stuff, all the stuff that when you get it right on Infinity Miniature, it is stunning. It just takes it and just elevates it, but it's a skill. So I have my very good friend Gio, who is Mean Green Minis. I've mentioned this before. He's going to come here and he's going to shoot some videos, and then it's going to come up for you guys, and it's going to be beautiful. Got the stuff from AK. They were like, yeah, we'll help you out with that one, which was phenomenal. I even got a sticker. I'm a sucker for a sticker. So we've got that coming up. But new lights as well, because then when I live stream painting, which is the thing I'm going to do, it's going to look nice. The light's going to look nice. The camera's going to look nice. You're going to see me basically just sat there licking a miniature for a couple of hours, but it's going to be fine. So yeah, you got that coming up. So if you can follow over on, which somebody had, Malachane, I'm going to go with Malachane, has just followed over on Twitch, which is amazing. Thank you. We're getting there. Going up. It's good. So yes, if you can do that too, that would help immensely, and sort of leave it running in the background, because there's this whole thing where you have to have a certain number of average viewers and things. It's very intriguing. Anyway, you're allowed to paint all your minis before you order more. That doesn't say. Kaz, it doesn't. I don't understand it. It's very strange. I'm incredibly. I think it's a sign of deep-rooted psychosis if you paint all of your miniatures. I don't think that should be a thing. I think it should be a warning sign. That, people, is a red flag. If you ever meet somebody who said, I've painted all my miniatures, they're either lying and they're being funny, or there's something very wrong with them. Neither is a good thing. So happy I'm done with October. 53 orcs for 40k. Ye gods, Blissful Badger, that is some commitment. That's a lot of green. That is a lot of green. Have to say. Which did you, what were you painting, Blissful Badger? Which miniatures were you painting for Infinity? And how is it going? Are you having fun? Robin, Sebastian is just helping me with the Lord's work, which is slowly, no, at a medium rate of speed, bankrupting you. That's our sole purpose in life. Never mind, let's go. I'm not on the metallics train. It's one of those things, Mike, so somebody put up today, they put a video up about using metallics in Infinity. It was like, that looks really good. I can't do it. I wish you could. I wish, there's so many moments where I'm just like, this would be so much easier if you just did it with metallics. And I'm like, no, non-metallic metal. It's hardwired into my brain that Infinity, we do the non-metallic metal, and then Eldfall came along and that's also non-metallic metal, and then Warcrow came along and that's also non-metallic metal, and I've got some lovely metallics over there. I've got some AK metallics and some other bits and pieces. Really, really nice. And they just sort of sat in the bottle, looking a bit sad, really. And occasionally I'll watch like a video like the guy today talking about doing Next Wave with metallics. You're like, wow, that's really cool, and you can do this bit of filter over it and it changes the colour. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not yet. I've got the paint, I'm not doing it. It's just not how that works. So I only made some nice close-ups of the new Eldfall figures. Yes, you did, and I'm only allowed to show one. And I had to pick one, and that was really difficult, Sebastian. I had to pick one new Eldfall figure, and it was very, very clear which one I had to take. Neil, good evening, hello, welcome. I'm glad you have made it, and it's good to see you, buddy. I hope you're well. I know you're a busy bunny at the moment doing the magic stuff. So it's good to have you here, mate. Slim Typhoon, thanks for all your videos. You've been doing nice, new player. Slim Typhoon, you are most welcome, and thank you for watching. It's the whole reason this channel started was because I got really bored of Corvus Belli and various other companies doing a very bad job of getting people to play their systems, and I'm just arrogant enough to think I can do better. And now, after I think we're over 3 years now that I've actually been producing videos on this channel. I'm just rubbish at it rather than awful like I was before. But that's okay because they're just trash. So I'm getting better. It's going well. But thank you for watching. Machine, good evening, Coon. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Are you gaming tonight or are you just watching? What's going on? It wasn't at the end of October yet. I started. Oh, Trooper. Bravo, Blissful Badger. Well done. Oh, dear. Oh, I just got my 20th follower on Twitch. I got a big sign going, "You've reached a goal." Glorious. Thank you so much, ZS7 Ream. That's how I'm saying that one. Thank you. Appreciate it. Emmy. Leave this thing on. Right, I was checking test last time. Guess I'm doing that now. It's like my painting pile. It never ends. The best things in life never end. Like soul-crushing depression and feelings of inadequacy. They never go away. It's glorious. Oh, you go non-metallic metal, you never get... That's the problem, isn't it? Neil, I can look at other people's miniatures with metallics on them and I'm like, oh, that's really, really nice. And then I look at it, I do it on mine and I'm like, ugh. Because like, I play bolt action. I'm not doing bolt action non-metallic metal. That's not a thing that's going to happen ever. But there's just a part of my brain that goes, yeah, but it's not right, is it? Clearly it is, but anyway. Would love a video giving a breakdown of fast pandas, wall parrots, disco balls, mines and turrets. Oh boy. So, the video on hacking which dropped last week has got a bit about fast pandas on it. That's covered inside of there. Disco balls, wall parrots, mine layers, turrets, crazy Ks as well, crazy koalas, probably worth touching. Those deployable weapons are a thing that needs to be covered. The next video that I'm doing in the tactics series, even though somebody said the other week, this isn't a tactics video because you put the tactics stuff behind the paywall. Yeah, I just sat here and explained all the rules in very easily and accessible ways to make it completely understandable about what the thing is actually for and how it actually works and how you should actually utilise it. But that's not tactics. The thing that you don't get unless you pay for it, that's the thing that's... Anywho. So, I will put that Slim Typhoon just for you because you're a glorious human being. And you started with flattery, which I respond to ridiculously well. I'll put that after my next video on the tactics list. The next video on the tactics list is about target prioritisation. It is that the moment where somebody goes, would you like to ARO? And you go, Hurr. Or you need to spend an order and you can shoot this thing, or this thing. Which one are you going to do? Hurr. We talk about how you can develop a process for quickly working through, I need to shoot that one, I need to do this, this is the way to do this is the way to do that. So that is the next video. I think that's going to be on Friday, that should drop. I need it for some of my newbies at the tournament that's happening at the end of this month. So I'm putting that all together for those glorious people and for you guys, and it's going to be amazing. It really is. It's going to be truly awesome. But yes, deployable equipment, deployable weapons, it is on the list. Metallic work fine. I can't do, because I'm a noob, and so I have no choice but to... Dude, Kaz, right, let's be absolutely clear. I love other people's non-metallic metalwork. It is mine that I have some deep-seated emotional issue with. I can pick up a bottle of metallic paint, I can hold it in my hand, it doesn't burn me or anything, and I can put it on the wet palette and I can just, it's tongue out necessary, on the actual thing that I'm applying it to, and then I look at it and go, that's rubbish. And it can look the same as somebody else's, but to me, trash. Be good indeed. Okay, Neil, okay, fine. They are all so great, you're quite right. Emmy, don't retract messages, it keeps life exciting. I know, I was like, I wanted to, so, my wife, bless her, is very, very good at the stuff I'm not, which is a lot of things, but one specific thing is like interior design and all this kind of thing. And I was looking at a playback of a live stream from a couple of weeks ago because I wanted to get something out of it, and I was like, that's so boring, this is just not interesting, and there's all these lovely like people out there that do these lovely streams, and then there's me who's just sort of sat there with my nose pressed to the camera looking like I'm talking to you from some sort of haunted sewer. So I was like, right, I'm going to invest a bit. So I got other ring lamps to say, the lava lamps going, I've got some other stuff coming. The little picture up there, that's temporary. There's going to be something over there. It's going to be great. So we're going to do that, and then later we're going to do even more. But for the time being, you're just going to get something that's a little bit more interesting than me saying, hurdy in that lava lamp. I'm old. I love it. Makes me happy. If I ever stop talking and I'm just staring at the screen, you may assume that I'm looking at the video of the lava lamp playing, because I find them hypnotic. They are also great, Sebastian. You are quite right. When I was looking at those pictures, it was like, oh, that one, no, that one. The new Eldfall miniatures that are coming out, which we'll talk about in a bit, they do some good work. You're building tables for TTS. Fair enough, Coon. Outstanding. Having played on your real world tables, I'm sure they'll be American style and therefore slightly open and disappointing, but you crack on. You just do you, bud. Perhaps on your Twitch you could feature community members, painters, army lists, gaming experiences, etc. I've thought about doing that. I want to... Hang on a sec. I need to die for a second. So, I've got some people that I want to talk to on here about some very specific things, and I want to get people in and do lives of other people. I have some very specific people I want to do it with, and that is on the list. I've also thought about doing army list analysis live, because I think that's quite interesting and something that I'm reasonably good at these days. So yeah, maybe that's the thing, mate. I will put that on the list. That's a good suggestion. It's just me. You don't have to try and read the username in Twitch. Okay, Ristic. Noted. And thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still going to try and read it. It's the thing that's going to happen. You get another mini picture of that non-metallic metal, and a bit of the brain just says lazy. Neil, so when you see other people not non-metallic metaling, oh, you hobby snob. You judge. I am shook. Oh my goodness, young man, I'm shook. Terrible. No, I know, there's things. There are things that I look at and I see in other people's miniatures that I'm like, okay, sure. With me, for some reason, it's basing. I don't, I'll get printed bases, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with a printed base. We like a printed base. But I like to put some effort into it. I like to make it pretty, and those are going to get some more work on them and stuff. And I like to make them good. And then you get some people that are just kind of like grey with a dry brush of grey. It didn't have to be complicated, but you could have tried harder. I judge there. Have you tried the new metallic colours from Vallejo as well? I haven't, Sebastian. Because, like I say, I can't do the metallics unless it's in bolt action, and at that point it's kind of, I dry brush a little bit on the end of the gun so it looks it's not, I don't know, on the list. Turnout painting is mandatory, except no substitute for concentrating. It's absolutely true. Both of my daughters, both under the age of 5, paint with their tongue out, and I'm just like, yes, my child. That's how we know. No doubts. She's a much better wife than you'll ever be, let's face it. My wife is... I am punching above my weight in every category when it comes to her. One day she'll realise, but until then, I'm getting away with it, lads. Lighting is much better and the picture is nice. Yeah, she was like, can I have a look at the camera settings? I was like, oh, I think they're fine. And then she was like, damn it. Instant improvement. So, give it to her. Give it to her where she's due. She did a glorious thing. So, there are pictures of all figures through glass in Eldfall general chat, or at least some of the pictures. No, absolutely, Sebastian, they were. But you got lovely, up close and thing. Very nice work. Very nice work. If you really want lazy painting, metallic paint, their version of contact paints, form AK paints. Yeah. There are many ways to quick paint these days. So, hang on. Rolls the silent hand grenade in the chat whistles. Yeah, I noticed. I see you. I'm getting the range of you, young man. I've actually watched some of your videos in the last week. Ahu. So, Nicola, painting. The important thing, there's a couple of important things about painting. One, I think it's important that you do it, because I think that there is not a contract, but it's much more of an immersive experience if you're going to the table with, this is one of my wife's actually, if you go to a miniature that's painted with some paint on it, that's got some stuff, I mean, you know, it's nice, it's got paint on it. It doesn't have to be like studio standard, although that is a very nice painted miniature. It's better than that. This is not immersive. This is just bare metal. So I think it's important that you do that because it creates that experience and it's nice. Not mandatory, important. I think it is important that you have fun with it. If you're painting, if you're going to spend an amount of time painting a miniature, that you enjoy that experience, that it is something that you take pleasure from. And I think you get something from it, whatever that is. Sense of pride, accomplishment, progress, whatever. You get something yourself from that experience. I think those things are important. What anyone else thinks, what everyone else thinks that you should do, and how the right way to do it can get in the bin. We as a species have this fantastic ability to just judge other human beings against the standard that we don't necessarily hold ourselves to, and against metrics that we've defined out of fresh air. And it's a bit much. We need to calm the hell down a bit. And I've seen people say that with Infinity, like, oh, well, he doesn't do non-metallic metal, you know. Yeah, but his miniatures are painted and yours are not, so you can fuck up until you have caught up with that. Thank you very much. I know who I'd rather paint. I know who I'd rather play is somebody with painted than not. Basing is the icing on the miniature. Oh, you say that. I am the shock army. The scheme, I've got the scheme clear in my head. Is it going to work? We'll find out together. But the basing, you know when you come up with an idea and you're like, oh, you clever sausage. It's not going to work. But right now I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm very hyped to get started with it. But so good. Sets the story, Vincent. The basing sets the story. It places the miniature, it puts it in a world, you know. It's why I know lots of people that have run the transparent bases. Like, that's cool, I get it, because then you put it on the mat and you can see the mat and it's like you stood on the mat. That's cool. But I prefer the whole sort of immersive feel of you build a narrative around this piece of basing material. It's just Remember True Metallics was the thing, was it? How long ago was that? Was that N1? That must have, hang on, we're going to find out. Wait there. Hang on, no, don't click that. So what you're telling me is that in here, because this is N1, we should have metallics, because this was the first edition. Let's see if we've got metallics in here. I'd be amazed. I don't remember seeing any. Nope, there's still an MM. First edition is still non-metallic metal. There you go. Look at those. Aren't they beautiful? Now, for those who don't know, that lady on the other side in the orange, that's Kodali. That is Kodali before she was taken by the Combined Army. Look at that. Back in the day. N1 peeps. Excuse me. So, yeah. I'd be interested to see if you've seen that, Mike. I don't recall it ever being. But, yeah, who knows. He's modest. He's pretty well matched his wife. Thank you, buddy. Well, you know, she's got the looks, the brains, the class. And I'm +1. So that's good. It makes a duo. You've got to be the +1. Just drop the new treasure token in the Discord. I shall have a look at that Neil post. And I want to feature some of your stuff on here, actually. That's the thing that I think we should do. We should talk about that. I want to elevate the community, and you're one of the wonderful human beings that I want to elevate. So Hydra is amazing. I really am. It's amazing I've lasted this long. Here we are. Slay the Grey! Absolutely. Need to get rid of it. All needs to go. More important to play games and not get hung up on paint or paint for play cultures. Yeah, absolutely. Throwing dice is the thing. Community is the thing. But there is a place, there is a value to painting your stuff. I really just like painting, so I don't really care that my minis look like T-1000 Terminators. And Mike, as long as you're happy, good for you. This is everyone's hobby. You get from it what you want. I have seen people playing 40k armies that are bare plastic. They were there for the game. The miniature stuff, the hobby stuff, purely incidental. That was not really what they did with the hobby. That was not their hobby, if you know what I mean. So, you know, you do, as long as you're happy, but that's the important thing. Nuclear Kid, good evening. How are you? You well? I hope so. I see. We're up to the juicy stuff. Incoming thread. I put icing on my mini and it doesn't stick. Must be the sock. Really? Really? One man craft. That's... We cannot ice our miniatures. Do not put cake frosting on your miniatures. I mean, if you want... Oh, God. I'm not getting into it. I'm not going in there. I feel like I'm discriminating against diabetic people if I even go down that journey. Anywho. Reminds me of the old confrontation minis and their bonkers paint jobs. Yeah, back in the day. Love an elevator. Ah! Mr. Sexton, good evening and welcome. Good to see you, buddy. How are you doing? I hope you're good. Did you sort out Patreon? Let me know. You didn't read the whole sentence. I said true metallics before angel method. Oh, okay. I'm weird. I like painting more than playing. Everyone has their thing. I know people that have got substantial Infinity armies that they've painted and they've never played the game. And no judgment. You do what you do what makes you happy. They're beautiful miniatures. That's the thing. End of the day. The cake is a lie. Absolutely. Normally because my wife makes a lot of cake, but she eats the cake batter, the cake mix, before she makes it. I think at some points we were up to sort of like 10 cake mixes made before a single cake is actually produced out the back of it. But she's happy, so yeah. There's a point in being a grown-up if you can't make the things that make you happy. Bases, flip. Need to get them off the printer. Well, I didn't want to say anything. Robin is actually doing my printed bases for the Shock Army. Printed. He's been sharing them all over the place. Like, oh, look at my miniature bases. My miniature bases. Anyway, he's been doing that. And, yeah. Still waiting. Anywho. Bollocks. I like painting more because I'm shit at making time to play. Well, I have noticed, I did in fact invite you over here to come and play at a tournament for the giggles of the whole thing. And then there was much procrastination and flapping of arms and all that kind of stuff. Actually, with the amount of Infinity content that I think you've absorbed at this point, I'm going to try and find some Infinity gamers around you and just get them to sort of accost you in the middle of the night and take you off to learn how to roll D20s. There's still being odd ducks over there. I can entirely believe that. Message me post and then maybe I'll give them a kick in the head, because that's not good. Anyway, Nuclear. I have a badass Tunguska army I will almost certainly never play with. Don't mess with Tunguska. They've got your money. And your secrets. They have got all the things that you don't want them to have. That's their whole thing. I mean, as I just showed off, the new Triggerman for Tunguska. And in fact, on the 22nd, the army that I'm going to be playing is going to be these guys, and probably with this guy included. I may put him on the table if I can get around to painting him. Horrible miniatures to stick together, but in fact, actually, opposite ends of the scale, because the dude with the funny hair, he's got the largest contact point to glue to known to mankind, and the robot has the most ridiculously tiny contact points that have ever been conceived. These arms are on tiny little contact points on the shoulders, and there isn't actually a connection in the wrist, so you kind of have to glue and hope that holds. And these just, like, the weight of the metal pulled them. Yeah, I had a little bit of a medium-sized rage to my local community about it. I think I described it as my most hated Infinity miniature. That's passed. It's top 10, but it's not my most hated. So, boy oh boy, I used to love building minis and was kind of meh about painting, but now I hate the building element of the hobby. I hope that the painting side has gone up, Neil. I hope you have now, they've flipped. So you're like, I like to paint, rather than I hate building and I hate painting, because then you're just down to playing. A serious investment of your time. I would have that's right, your wife's birthday. I recall. Absolutely true. Okay, I'll let you off this one. But the next one, you don't get a buy. Tiny, tiny Hollow Men feet. Try tiny, tiny Dakini N2 Dakini shin guards. Those were a lot of fun. Tiny little piece of metal that just sort of, you had the leg like that and it sort of hung like this, pointing outwards, and the contact point was stupid. And there wasn't really a clear place you sort of stuck it, so you sort of put a bit of glue on it and went, and then tried to pull away and discovered that you glued yourself. That was definitely a thing. Anywho, horrible. Still have flashbacks about that. But anyway, remember kids, you heard it here, share your contact points. Absolutely, for safety. Contact points, just, I'm working on, so if you haven't heard, I've got this great idea that I'm going to take Shock Army back on Cemento to the Interplanetario in Spain next August. Now, I'd sold all my Shock Army, so I've been getting it back, and my God, we'll talk about that in a second. But, so I'm getting these N2, N3, N4 miniatures back, and having to, like, repair some of those. Absolute joy. Nice big contact points. Click, job done. The new ones, tiniest contact points known to man. Now, these are larger scale. We've kind of gone up from, I think, you could call Shock Army 32mm scale. We're now 35, I think, is the official size for Infinity, and yet the contact points are smaller. I'm sure somebody can explain that to me. I'm just clearly not bright enough to figure out how you go up in scale but go smaller in contact point. Anyway, yeah. I was going to say they were funky to put together 100% on the trigger. Yeah, yeah, that they were. Totally flipped. Let's discuss that Flyers video after watching it. I'm still confused as to why they're in the main format at all. Seems like they should only be included at 400 points. Mike, you are this fantastic human hand grenade. You come into a conversation and you just drop these questions and it's like, poof, dear God, man. Coming back. Okay, still allowed to print, Robin. I'm glad you checked. I didn't want to have to chase you up. Neil, I'm currently building a new chap's MO for him as he was really struggling. Ugh, yeah, I can get that. There's some things. Yeah. Statics degree with a niche, yeah. Small contact points equals smaller pollution footprint. This is what we call an old-fashioned look. Okay? You've got one. You're welcome. Mike does the mic drop. He does, have you noticed? We talked about inclusivity. I can't remember what the last one was. The last one I was like, no, I'm going to come back to that because that was really, really good. So I'm not going to leave it. I'm going to go straight into that. So if you didn't see, which you should have done, last week there was a video that I did about, yes, we'll talk about how cute the pandas are. Well, it depends which side of the board you are, because sometimes they suck. Anywho, and then you have to shoot them, which is even worse. So last week I talked about whether Corvus Belli has made an issue with the new Flyers, which they're a new unit type vehicle, a new unit type inside of Infinity, came in with N5, and I think some of them are a bit much, and I think some of them are a bit meh, and that's a problem because not everyone has them. Some people do, some people don't, as in armies. Some armies can't physically get them. My Shock Army, we can't get any Flyers. That's not one of the options. We're a shock army. We are there to literally do like the whole stormtroopery, kicking through the doors, ultimate violence. But the high-speed vehicles, no, we are not allowed those. Not salty. I wouldn't take them anyway. But not everybody gets them, so that's the problem in the first place. Because you can have them, but you can't. And this faction over here, this one faction, they get two different types. Because of course they do. I'm going to say this in front of Poleaxe now, which is going to probably make his ears slightly twitch. Especially because one of those two Flyers is designed like a Dune ornithopter. It's beautiful. Hey. So it's a weird place. It's a weird thing to have this kind of. They're tilting the game, and actually somebody messaged me with a thought that. Yeah, they gave me their thought, their take on the Flyers, and he had some other thoughts that went in with other stuff, and it's just, my brain's just gone boom. Oh my god, we have to talk about that. We're not going to talk about it today, but they are a bit much. They're a bit much. So should they be restricted to 400 points? No, I don't think they should be restricted to 400 points. Why are they in the main format? Because they were planned. They wanted to do these things. Gautier, I think is his name, the guy that started this all off. He wanted to do this from the get-go, as I understand it, and so this is just fulfilling the plan that he had. I get that. You've got a vision. You want to bring it to life. Fair play. But just because you have an idea doesn't mean to say it's a good one. And I don't necessarily think that Infinity as a system is appropriate for that type of thing. I don't think it necessarily works. Because when I look at it, my feeling is kind of, that's not what Infinity is to me. We're supposed to be these covert black operations kind of dudesmen. And yeah, I mean, in Hollywood you have them flying around on jet bikes, I guess, but I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it too much. I always thought, Paradox, if you don't even play the game, and if you think they're OP, there's a problem. Love you some panda hunting. We're hunting pandas. I'm hoping, actually, so we have a satellite tournament next to May, and it looks like the Fast Panda gaming guys are going to come over here. Now, I'm not playing, because I'm TO, so I'm hoping that some of my locals will go panda hunting for me. It's going to be fun. Daddy needs a new mat in front of the house, panda coloured. Anyway, at least you know I watch everything and ponder the gamescape. Mike, I appreciate it. I do. I still am massively bewildered by the concept that people will spend time to watch my stuff and then will come back and go, my god, you had a point. Because when they say that, my often response is, my god, did I? Amazing. So yeah, anyway, I appreciate that. There needs to be a specific anti-flyer weapon tactic skill. No, I agree, and that's one thing. Like anti-flyer weaponry, I think should definitely be a thing. I had somebody said on the video itself, they kind of, I think I just throwaway commented back at it because I was like, I'm not even going there. Like, oh yeah, but you can hack them. The BTS-6, yes, you can hack them. You can also shoot a freaking tag to death with a combi rifle. You could, but statistics are, it's not going to go freaking well. And a lot of the hacking programs you've got don't have the burst value of a... guys, don't... just leave. I just purchased 2 red eyes for the double red eye list. Kaz, you disgust me in the best possible way. Thank you for that. That's horrible. Do you not like friends? Have you got too many? You're just like, I don't like friends. I don't want friends. Just gonna get rid of them all. Easily done. Only issue I had with the fly video was the absolute failure to mention the firebat. I only mentioned good stuff. Hey Hydra in chat. How you doing? I'm working on my... good evening, young man. How are you? Good to see you, buddy. How goes the prep for your tournament? And how is Conflict 47? That seems to be going well. I'm still trying not to get involved with that. I'm doing very well. You were playing it the other day, and I was just like, oh, no. Ooh, no. No. Only Asher. Ooh, we can email Hydra with our thoughts. Oh boy, I need a better email filter. You can email me. I have people email me all the time. Normally it's, I've watched your channel on, and we can help you get another 10,000 views. Yeah, of course you can. I had one the other day. I was impressed and disgusted in equal measure because it was one of these things that was kind of, we help influencers unlock their potential, and we've made a video about your particular channel, and it was just AI generated. It was a purely AI generated thing, which that it done to some form of script, and occasionally would be like, and we can help your channel. The Dice Gods get better and better every day because the Dice Gods needs to improve and see more people. And it's just like, oh, for God's sake. Really? Anyway. But please email me. It validates my existence. Flyers haven't been easy to balance in 40k since they're introduced. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's... Are ducks truly necessary? Discuss. Yes. Because without them, we'd all go quackers. Did you contrast the flyer inclusion versus when they included bikers? Are they comfortable in presence? No, they're not. So a bike in Infinity is restricted by the places where its base can fit, and it's quick, but it's relatively vulnerable. If you look at the armor associated with the bike, normally, we're going to look at the armor associated with the bike very quickly, they don't tend to be that pokey. One of the best examples, one of the most common examples that you probably want to go to would be, I really miss everything being in vanilla because it was just so much easier. So Arigato Senken Butai for now Oban for JSA. Motorcycle, Arm 2, 1 Vita, limited cover so it can't go into cover, and mimetism -3. You can drop that convincingly with a combi rifle. It can be done because there's only 1 Vita. You just need to get 1 ping off of it. But when you've got 2 and you've got mimetism and you've got a chunk of armor, it's not happening so readily. And even if we look at into my boys, the motorized knights of Montesa, Arm 4, 2 Vita, mimetism -3. But it can't pop tart, it can't super jump. It has to stay on the ground and follow the route. You can't go upstairs, you can't go up ladders. You can't just bounce over a building and to get into better position. You can't fly up in the air and shoot something off of a roof. You're very limited in what you can engage. So no, they're not very different things, to be honest with you, Mike. Bikes sometimes are amazing and other times are really disappointing, and there's no sort of midline. Ducks are fun. Yeah, ducks are fun. You're quite right. You are quite right. When I was back in the UK, my inner circle, my inner sanctum of gaming buddies was called the Mallards, named after ducks. That's a long story. Anywho, now we have the same opinion on the fireback. Yeah. Oblivion is saving on. That's not ideal. Yeah. Coon, the idea of hacking the flies it's like, yeah, it's the same as shooting it. There's still a lot you need to chew through, and now they're one gizmo kit roll away from being successful. And I screwed up in the video because I said that you are affected by mimetism when you use the gizmo kit on your own trooper. You're not. It's only enemies that are impacted by mimetism. So yeah, in some cases it's a really easy shot to fire a gizmo kit into the arse of a flyer and then take off the oblivion and the sort of, isolated and immobilized states and all the rest of it that were on there. No. Still bought one though. Yeah, I mean, just because something's terrible doesn't mean to say you shouldn't buy it. It's clearly not how that works. Half of my collection wouldn't exist if I just went on what was good. Yeah. My one view counts as 10,000. In my very soul, Polax, yes it does. In my very soul. I feel the moment you click the video to the moment you leave, it's just there. Anywho, I'm the friendly label Soviet player to you. You're like my little Conflict 47 canary. If you fall off your perch, I know it's terrible, but up until that point, while you're singing and all excited, I may have a problem. We shall see. Tony Pepper's going fine. I hope quite nervous as to how it'll go, but I'm feeling decently confident. You'll be fine. You're going to be surrounded by friends and you're going to have a giggle. If you want any advice and support on running tournaments, because I've done this for over a decade, just we'll put 5 minutes aside and I'm happy to have a chat. Really, it's really not a problem. But you will be genuinely fine. You know how lovely the community is for bot action. They're just happy that somebody's like, play games, yay! It's good. 2 Red Eye and a Crux Knight and 15 orders. Kaz, there might be something wrong with you, mate. I think if there isn't now, whoever you play that list against will ensure that there is when the game is done. But fair play. Although people whose soul you crush with dice. Look, I'm a dice god. We crush everybody's soul with dice. Sometimes our own. Conflict 47 is really fun, big inventory, epic rules on the proven bolt action template. It's a lot more lethal, which is not a bad thing. Time to death is always good, but the units have a lot more staying power, so it balances out, and you should give it a try. Nope, lies, shush. If you start saying that, then somebody whose name we're not going to mention is going to start talking about me doing Star Wars Legion, and then all kinds of problems happen. I literally had a Star Wars Legion starter box in a shopping cart on a website the other day. Nope. Moving on. I approve of that, Kaz. Right. Kaz, if Kuhn, aka Machine, approves of what you're doing something wrong. Bad Kaz. Bad Kaz. One man crowd. Idea for April Fool's video. Drop everything with a combi rifle. Unless it's a... Now, say it with me. A Yotamin cover. Because you can't drop a Yotamin cover. There's somebody should make a song. We need like one of those comedy songs that you get in certain situations. But you can kill anything with a combi rifle apart from a Yotamin cover. There's got to be a bluegrass song in there somewhere like that. Actually, I have 2 ideas for April Fool's videos, and the first year that I was doing videos on here, I was so new, it didn't occur to me about doing a funny video for April Fool's. And then the second year, I'd actually stopped for a while because I got a job. And then the third year, I didn't realise until a couple of days after that I should have done it. But I have 2 fantastic ideas. One of them may get me a lot of hate, but it's almost worth it. My piss. So the current answer to flyers is a dedicated EM ammunitions or grenades guy. That's the problem, Mike. There is no consistent, reliable answer to them. I mean, templates are kind of good. Emirats and stuff like that. Glue guns, maybe. But again, somebody comes along, puffs it in the butt with a gizmo kit, and it's off. You can spend. It feels like you can spend a lot of time pumping orders into things to stop the flyer doing the thing, which just leaves the rest of the army out there doing its, the rest of the enemy army is out there doing its thing. You can pump all these orders in, and then some muppet with a gizmo kit potters along that they picked up as part of the tactical blibbing cards at the start of the game and goes ka-dunk, hits it in the butt, and on the 14 it's off again. Glorious. Totally valid use of time. Only 4 people like the stream on YouTube. Come on, Chan, do your thing. Validate my existence by liking all my socials. I just don't know what I'll do if you don't. But yeah, it's mostly, again, if you're not, and if you have one, and if you can, over on Twitch, if you could like put Twitch on in the background and just mute it and be there so that Twitch thinks I'm relevant and that I have friends. That'd be really good, because I'm trying to get that up. I'm trying to get the numbers up there, and I've just hit my first goal of 20 followers. But I have to like get 3 average viewers per stream before they'll consider being friends with me. I don't really want to be friends with Twitch. I do. So if you could, that'd be great. Evening, Hydra. Yeah, new Eldfall stuff. Night Wind incoming shortly when I've stopped talking about stuff. Hydra is going to a 40k GT with a squat army April Fools. Almost. I'm going to tell you what one of them was. I'm not going to do it anytime soon, but the one that I came up with first is that I was going to produce a Wargamers ASMR album. So the sound of sprues being cut and like plastic being shaved and brushes being licked, dice being rolled, this whole thing. Wargamers ASMR. It's going to be glorious. Every time I think of the idea, it still amuses me, so it's clearly a good one. Or, hey man, I was behaving, but if you want to talk Legion, no, Kaz, no. Well, if you're 12-0, there's no space for me in the game because you're clearly rocking it like a boss. So I should stay out of it. You're quite right. That is definitely the way forward. You're practically auditioning for co-host. I should give the opportunity for channel members to come on and chat with me. I think that would be entertaining. Friends of the Dice Gods half hour. we had a little jingle, it'd be amazing. I can get an ident made for it. No. So there is, I haven't got around to doing it. There is a whole line of merch that's on the way. And one of them is Only Dice, Red Hot Rolls. Got that on there. That's the thing with the Dice Gods logo on the background. That's on a t-shirt. And there's a couple of other ones around Only Dice that just amused me no end, but obviously based on the logo of the website that I don't know what it's about. But apparently it's very funny if you base your stuff off of it. I don't know. I spoke to Robin and he said it was funny, so I just did that thing. I think Kaz is probably running whatever is filth, Mike. That is the nature of the beast. Hello, Twitch friends. Hamanamam. Hello on Twitch. Good evening. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for joining. Are you... Do I know you? It's the joy of everyone having nicknames and different names. And some people have different names in different places, which is very exciting, isn't it, Neil? And sometimes they log in from different accounts, so they have different names for the different names in the different places, in the same place that you've seen them before. It's always exciting trying to figure out who the heck people are. But anyway, we love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. So, yeah, Mike, what do I think is the solution to flyers? Make them more damn expensive and give us dedicated weapons for taking out flyers. I still think that it would be hilarious if you could total control them, because it's kind of like, oh, you're going to bring two of your blooming death bats of doom, yoink, back at you. No sir, Kaz runs Vader and Dewbacks. Witness protection is no joke, mate. Yeah. I didn't have you on witness protection. I didn't have you on WITSEC, mate. I had you as kind of like a James Bond figure. That's just, you know, I'd love to tell you my name, but then I'd have to kill you. I could see that. That would definitely be a thing. Did you miss the Clog News? You did. Oh, I very nearly... Dear God, what was that? I very nearly put a picture up on Discord the other day because one of my Dutch children was legitimately wearing clogs around the house. Because that's genuinely a thing that happens. And for the best part of a day, she was clogging around the house. You always know where they are when they've got clogs on, because it's just... So yes. Oh no. Our one-man crowd was taken on Twitch, so I stick to bad jokes on YouTube. Okay. Well, hello, over on Twitch, one-man crowd who's also over here. It's good. It's lovely. I'm glad to have you everywhere that you're present. I appreciate you. It's very nice to see you. Hang on, I just realised... Yes, no, it actually did the thing. My goodness. I've had a thing recently where when I post to Patreon about live streams happening, I hit post, which is what you do, and then Patreon goes, oh, I'm just going to stick that in drafts. And that's happened 2 or 3 times. Love it. I would come on with Darth Vader mask. Something tells me I won't be invited to this coast. Right, there's going to be a picture here. I think it's on the way. So over there's going to be a display that I've owned for ages and it's just funky. So that's going over there. But over here, there's a picture that I've bought specifically. It's probably going to be about this big now. But I bought specifically because it makes me happy. And when I look up and I'll see it looking over my shoulder, it will be entertaining. I'm here for the pop references. I'm here for it. It's all good. Very, very happy. Wait till Grievous and the Ring Cycle Gang arrives. Hell yeah, Mike. No, I don't need it. I don't need it. Oh God, what have you done on the general... Neil, step away from the general chat. What's happened? I've just... Excuse me, everybody. General chat on Discord. Oh, there you... Oh, you... there are no words. There are genuinely no words. Wow. That's... I Just Neil. For those who aren't on the Discord, you should be a member of the channel, either here on YouTube, or you can't be a member on Twitch, I think. Not yet on Twitch. It's not a thing you can do on Twitch. Or over on Patreon. You should be a member of one of those, and then you'll be able to see that Neil, 3 men in a shed wargaming, Gonks Gaming, the man, the legend, has created a treasure token. So ITS 17, you need treasure tokens. He's made a little box. That's your treasure token. It's very nice. And he's put freaking clogs on top. I'm going to need like 60 of those for the satellite tournament next year. You know that, right? I'm going to need like 60 of them. That's the thing that now needs to happen. And I'm going to need a load. Oh dear, what have you done, you absolute monster? I'm going to share this somewhere. I'm going to put it on Patreon if that's okay with you, Neil. But like a free thing so that people can see it and judge you. Gonks Games here also, thank you very much. So now Neil has got me in stereo, but a slight time delay invariably, which is just brilliant. I love that. You get printing, glorious. Yeah, I've realised, like on the 22nd, we are playing Area of Interest or Zone of Interest, whatever the frack it's called, and you need 3 of the large round templates. And we got. Have I moved them? I've probably moved them. If you listen closely, you can hear me pouring popcorn that I totally wasn't eating before I started this stream, which is not why I'm coughing all over the place. Somewhere around here. Oh, there we go. So we have these. Aren't they cute? So we've got these, but I don't quite have enough of these. So I can get some more of these cut, and then get a little star underneath some of them, so that you can see which one's the special zone. So if you're not familiar with Zone of Interest at the start of the game, the person who's going first places one of these and one with a star in it, which is the special zone, and then the other person places another one of these, and each round you score points if you hold the special zone. At the end of the game you score if you hold more zones. So I think that's the way it goes anyway. So I'm getting some more of those made. Totally lost my point. But anyway, I'll get printed. Fine. It's lovely. Get to hear all the best bits twice. You lucky duck. Look at you. Yeah, so I've realised I need these all cut. I need another 10, 15 of these. More than. I think I've ordered 15 or 16 of the special ones. You want all of your... Overboard, where are you in the world? Where do you live? Not like address, that's creepy. Not going to dox you. Just need to know which country you're in. I have plans. I need to paint those zones in Trumid. You're trying to give me a breakdown. It's like, I'm going to give you the really strong questions, and then I'm going to follow it up by being like, here's the thing that's going to make your brain itch. Thank you so much, Mike. It's always a pleasure. That's how I know you're like this comedy sidekick. It's quite dangerous having people around. Anyway, let's get a little picture. I'm going to get you in a little video like over my shoulder. That's where you'll be. Bless you. So what are we going to talk about? Oh yes, I remember. We can talk very briefly about... So some of you may have seen the video about me having a stupid idea, and that I'm going to take Shock Army back on Cemento to the Interplanetario next year. And I put that out. And this is a cuddly story. This is a nice story. We like this story. There's a zones of interest for certain beverages now. Not going there. And so I put that out into the world, and I said on that video that I was looking to get Shock Army. And if you don't know, Shock Army has been out of production for long enough that they've kind of rotated through. Some have disappeared. Some people have like finished their collections off and put them in a box and put them away. So they're not necessarily that around. At present, you can just pick them up. So I was like, this is going to be months. This is going to take for me to get this sorted, because it's not like an easy thing. Clearly, it's out of production for a very long period of time. And but I was like, you know what, we're going to go. You got to have objectives. You've got to have a goal. So anyway, so I put that video out there and talked about it on a live stream as well, about how, you know, this was going to be a struggle. It is a struggle. Blah 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 blah. And the response was bonkers. The response was absolutely, completely insane. I was not ready for it at all, to be honest with you. I'm not saying it, Mike. Get in the bin. It's not happening. Next year it's happening. I've decided it's going to happen next year. I'm coming back to that. I'm in the middle of a warm-hearted story. Can you behave? 30 seconds during that. Unbelievable. So somebody from here, I can't remember. Sorry if you're on. I went through multiple names. But one of the wonderful human beings on here contacted me and put me into the German Discord, where I found a fantastic gentleman called Matthias, who had loads of Shock Army and was just like, look, I don't want much for it. You can just have it. And just boof, there was a mass of the army straight away. Certain key things were missing, which I spoke about. And then a lovely guy called Michael in Australia contacted me and said, well, look, I've got some of those. Would you like it? And I was like, yes. What do you want for it? And he was like, nothing. I'll just send it to you. Which was just like that. Thank you. So those are on the way. And then one of you lovely people, I think you're still in here at the moment. What's your nickname? Nico. Are you still in here? Nico? Anyway. He was a new friend of mine who did a fantastic job. And he's off to Arizona? Yeah, to the US. And he put me in contact with Rattler Next, who's a guy over in the US who's got some more. And we were talking. And he wanted an Ulan. And I don't have an Ulan. I've tried to find an Ulan. Can't find one at all. And I contacted him and said, look, I can't find an Ulan. Can I just buy these things off of you? And he's like, no, because I just don't need them, so it's fine. These people are being like really kind based on the videos and stuff that I think that I put out to the community. That's my understanding, that they're being sort of paying it back. And I was just like, I feel so incredibly lucky and just completely blown away. It's such a lovely thing for people to do. And, you know, even my own dear friend locally turned around and said, look, I've got a Drago, take it. And I was like, I've got to give you something for it. That's a very expensive piece of kit. Nope, take it. It's amazing. And I'm completely humbled by it and completely blown away. And yeah, we had the odd emotional moment. So we're waiting to find out when everything comes in. But I think we're there. I think we have all of the Shock Army that I need. There's other stuff back here that you can see, and some over there that I've picked up, which is like the remotes and other stuff like that, the current versions, the current support pack, because I need one of those, you know, Angel of Death, a Whip 12 Doctor. Who doesn't need a Whip 12 Doctor? Everyone needs a Whip 12 Doctor. I've got all those sorted. So yeah, it's just, I've kind of got to get on with it. And yeah, there's one more miniature actually. There's one more miniature. I know where I'm going to get it from. It's from the UK. I need to pick it up from a specific supplier, the limited edition Knight Montesa. So the paramedic Knight Montesa with boarding shotgun. I've got them. I know where to get them. I'm going to do that. That's going to be sorted, and then we're done. And that's just going to be amazing. I just can't believe it. I thought this was going to take months. I thought this was going to be, you know, when you see those like time-lapsed emotional conversations on like vlogging of people like, yeah, no, we tried really hard and we thought we found it, and then it just wasn't the real thing. And like, I thought it was going to be one of those weirdly epic stories. Nope, turns out it's just you go, hey guys, can you help? And everyone goes, yeah, there you go. Cheers. Amazing. What's 112? 112? Anyway, Mike, what are you talking about? So anyway, so that's all sorted, and I've had a really cool week actually. I've been, so if you haven't seen the concept behind what I'm doing, buying up the army, prepping the army, painting the army, customizing the army, writing lore for the army, and then doing hopefully battle reports if I can get everything, all ducks in a row for that, all the way up to next August when we go. That is the plan. So I've started writing the lore, and you know, with Corvus Belli, oh yeah, 112. Doctor, the 112 Doctor for Ariadne is way, way better than the Trauma Dog for Panoceania, who kills more than she saves, but that's by the way. So I've started work on the lore side of things, and there's so much that's spread across so far with Corvus Belli, from N1 all the way through, and the books and the RPGs and blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh god, I needed some specific information actually about Paradiso. We were talking about the Paradiso campaign. I was like, I need to, who are you going to ask about lore for Infinity, like the lore of the wars of Infinity, war lore. Now if you haven't seen war lore, this young legend has been doing great videos about Infinity lore for a very long period of time. And he and I happened to have a conversation a little while back about some stuff, and I was just like, I'm just going to slide into your DMs like a boss and be like, hey, I have some very oddly specific questions, can you help? And this whole week he's just been, some of it's just been like, look, if you open the book you've got over here, oh, the book that's sat next to me, oh, I'll do that. Oh yeah, there it is, look, amazing. But some of the information that he's given me has been just breathtaking and blinding and so cool. And I've been writing lore, and I'm about 75% of the way done with it. So far the lore is about, if I put it into a video, it's a little over 40 minutes long. So I think the lore for this particular faction that I'm putting together is going to be about an hour to an hour and a half worth of just story time, basically. I'm going to sit, I've no one to do with the video, I'm going to sit down and explain the process of how I came into it and why I'm doing it and why I think it's important, because lore is so much fun. And then you're going to get like an hour to an hour and a half of me and other people. Actually, I'm drafting some other people in to do voices. Because I didn't think you'd sort of want, no, you can't kill him, but I want to kill him. No, you can't kill him. No, stay away from your monster. I mean, part of me would love it, but I don't think you guys would enjoy that so much. So I've spoken to some other people about doing some voices for it and stuff. And yeah, that's coming soon. TM, if I can stop tweaking the nuts off the lore, which I can't because I love doing it. Storytime with Hydra, I know. Well, I write fiction. I know I've mentioned it, but I'm literally a prize-winning short story writer. That is that's the direction the day job is going. Excuse me, I want to write for a living, that's my shtick. So this is completely in my wheelhouse. It is the combination of doing fun stuff for the community, doing fun stuff for YouTube, doing fun stuff about Infinity, and making stuff up and making things go bang. It's just, yeah, Mike, it does. And it's incredibly humbling to, I know, God, I hate that when YouTubers and people like that say that, but it is. When Michael in Australia was just like, yeah, I've got it, do you want it? I was like, yeah, what do you want for it? Nothing, I want your address. You must want something. It's literally the other side of the planet. This is something that's cost you money. You must want something for this. No, I really don't. You've done enough. It's nice. It's lovely, and it's just, yeah, it's lovely. It gives me the feels in all the nice places. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, we do have story time coming up, and I don't know, maybe I'll try and slice it back and stuff. I'm trying to like Corvus Belli it as well, so there's like, this is this little bit of lore, and here's a little vignette with this is what happened here, and here's a specific interview with this person and stuff like that. And some people have got familiar names. Maybe some patrons and stuff have got names inside of it. You'll have to find out. You'll have to find out. Yeah, anyway. Now, where was I? So yes, story time and lore. So that's all coming up. That's going to be fun. That's going to be enjoyable. Mate, go for it. Got a good old buddy in the UK community who left his day job to become a full-time writer, and he's like 12 books in and loving his life. Yeah, it's just, you know, my background is marketing, so I've spent a long period of time lying to people for a living, and this is just the same, but they don't mind. In fact, they like it, which is great. But yeah, I've got 14 books planned out, and I've got one that's over there that needs editing, and I've got another one that's basically written, and another one that's almost written, and a short story selection that needs editing too. I have plenty. There is just this whole thing of producing fiction and then putting it out into the world. My wife said, how would I be happiest with my career when I produced my first book and it's published and all the rest of it? I said that my deepest dream is that a large number of people buy the book and they place it on the shelf and they never read it. That would just be great. Because when people read my fiction, or interact with it anyway, it's like the sensation of having your homework marked, but the homework they're marking is your soul, and it's a little bit unnerving when people are like, well, I didn't really like that. Oh God, but it's me, you hate me. I can't explain it, it's very weird, but anyway. So I hope so, I'd love to. And I did have a conversation with Winkazar, who are the guys that do the stuff for Infinity, about doing some stuff there, and they want some treatments of books. I'm like, yep, when I've got these out the way, I'm going to put some treatments together for them, because I have some really cool ideas of stuff we could do in the Infinity world. Oh my days. But that's for another day. And his book, an HVT Hydra holding a lava lamp. For Christ's sake. Mike, you're why we can't have nice things. And it should have been clog-shaped lava lamp. That would have been the ultimate comedy. Clearly a sick puppy, because my deepest dream is to... It's a heck of a lot darker. Yeah, I mean, we all have our hobbies. The thing is, my dreams don't need to be dark because my writing often is. That's it. As an author, you write. You write fiction, Blissful Badger. Brother in arms, dude. You talk about darkness. I wrote a really beautiful, emotionally engaged short story about an old man and his wife. The Sunday morning they were spending together, and at the end of it they got nuked. I was just like, oh God, what's wrong with me? Quite a lot. Well, I worry for Everpool model gets named Kaz. Clear mind go, oh, he's already dead. There's a little bit at the start when somebody goes, hey cat, and boom, oh dear. Very shame, very, very sad. I knew that if I left him in the narrative, he'd be trying to get people to play Legion, so I was like, hell no, get out. All in all, go for it, buddy. Every damn day, Mike, every damn day. You too, my friend. That is the only way one should live. 1,000 miles an hour with as few regrets as possible. I've never regretted anything that I've done. I've regretted things I haven't done. I wish some things that I have done had turned out better, but that's a different story entirely. But, look back and go, well, that could have gone better. I mean, hell, I live in the Netherlands now, and that was really that's a good idea. Let's do it. So, yeah, no. Anyway, Kaz showed me a picture of his girl back home. That's the last time we saw Kaz. Yeah. Did you kill Kaz to get to his girl back home? Is that what it is now? Are you going to be that guy that after the war goes back and I was with him when he died, his last thoughts review? I'll see how it is. Neil's that guy. I got you. God damn. Harsh, man. I mean, fair play, but harsh at the same time. Speaking of having your homework marked, my goodness. Do you know, every week we're getting more people watch, so thank you for spending your time with me. It's very, very cool. And I keep trying to figure out what I'm going to do for super chats and stuff like that. I have ideas. I'm thinking about doing a big competition, but every time I come up with a competition of stuff that, like, what I want to do is you enter by doing a super chat, and then I do a draw, and you get a thing. And the problem is, the things that I want to give you guys be expensive. So, told you my dreams were dark. Yeah, that's Saturday morning, buddy. From where I'm sat, not dark at all. So, there's 6 people watching on Twitch as well. Thank you so much, guys. That helps so much. Epic work. Epic work. But that leads me waffling about writing, which I could do all day, and probably shouldn't, and talking about lore with ASA. That leads to something I was pondering. I was pondering and pottering and considering and cogitating on this week. How are those next waves? I was in the middle of just... I had this nice connection there, Mike. It was... Then Mike comes along and is just... human hurricane. Still here. Good Gonks games. Neil's in two places at once. Neil, good job, Neil. Now go and talk to Neil. How are those next wave sales going? I have not seen such polarizing release in such a long period of time. The Imperial Service release earlier on this year was the largest resounding that I've heard in quite some time. But next wave has either been people love it or they shrug, and both is fine. He had us on the bridge. I was going to push. Anywho, but I think next wave is interesting. I think it's quite cool. It's been an interesting thing to put into the narrative that I'm writing, but I think I have to have dinner with the fam. Enjoy the stream. Very cool about the writing. Hope it takes off for you. And the next series is great fiction. Thank you, Kaz. I'll still be doing this because I'd miss you guys. But thank you very much. Enjoy your food and have fun, buddy. It was good to see you. And as soon as you leave, we shall talk about you. Sometimes two over different continents. What are we talking about, Neil? Yeah, I think it's doing okay. If YouTube watches count as 10,000, Twitch views are immeasurable. They really are. It's clearly that's where it's at. Twitch is the thing. Of course Kaz is going to stay lucky, Neil. He has us to hang out with. How could he not be? So, narrative. Narrative events. Narrative play. It's getting a resurgence. Like, I'm seeing it a lot of places at the moment. Warcrow's heavily sort of talking about it. I think we're going to see it come back to Infinity soon. That's my read of some of the things we've seen around the place. To Infinity. If I had infinite views on Twitch, I'd be impressed. I would be impressed. They'd probably slowly get like €2 out of it. Anywho. I think that narrative play is having a resurgence. I think it's on the way back for Infinity. You see it, I'm seeing it a lot of places that a lot more things, because I think, see, Kaz has left so I can talk about Star Wars Legion now. I think that Star Wars Legion has got a narrative type structure they've brought into it as well. There's a lot more narrative coming up. And I get it. I get that kind of thing. The connection between a role-play game and a war game, it's kind of clear. There's direct connective material. Neil, we ran some great narrative War Machine events back in the day. Absolutely. We used to have annual narrative events for Infinity. We haven't done this year, which was a bit of a thing. But we used to for Infinity as well. And we had Campaign Paradiso and all that kind of stuff. You had the structure for doing this narrative kind of thing. I'm planning a narrative event for my local community to start next year. That's going to be a thing. Kaz got the a new guy treatment from Star Trek, being dead after one episode. Oh, he didn't even make it through the opening credits. Oh man, good night, Vienna. I get why narrative is really interesting. It's definitely read now after what is... Anyway, no spoilers. He's not dead yet. But I like the idea of narrative, but I think it brings with it inherent challenges. So I run within the various communities I have over here for Infinity and Bolt Action primarily. I run escalation leagues, so one game a month over 3 months. So 3 months, that's all you need to commit to. And it's really hard to get people to do it. It's really difficult, it's really challenging. And some people can't make it, and then some people go, hey, and they're sick, and blah, blah, blah. Of course he's getting better. I'd never do anything to Kaz, that would be rude. Anyway, it's really hard just to get that kind of competitive game booked in. If this is also tied with narrative, and that narrative then needs to be eked out and delivered, you kind of need to get everybody together in one place to play the thing at the same time to make sure that you can then progress and move out and all the rest of it. The concept of doing a one-shot, so one-day narrative event, doesn't feel crunchy. It feels kind of you're hanging narrative around 3 missions, which is, I kind of, in my head, is what I do with tournaments that I create and all that kind of thing. There's always a bit of narrative at the start of the tournament packs I produce. Grenade. Narrative play is the vacation weekend from competition rules workload. Disagree. Different type of beast entirely. No, Neil, I'm going to diverge from both of you, and I will stand my ground on this one. It's a different experience if done well and done as not sticking story post-it notes on a tournament. If it's actually done as a narrative thing, then actually no, it's a very different beast to the competitive side of things. So when we had campaign parodies, so you got experience and you could upgrade your Spec Ops trooper and get this uber Spec Ops trooper, and you could upgrade your army and they could get benefits and bits and pieces. So there was actually a real impact, a real weight to how you performed, and it had a profound impact on how your list went forward. And you found yourself getting attached to that Spec Ops. That Spec Ops did things and had kit and all this kind of stuff. It was very engaging and with a strong narrative through it, and with a structure within that narrative which engages and draws people in. It's really cool. But how do you do that with competitive face-to-face gaming? You know, you have systems like Eldfall, which we are going to talk about in a bit. You have systems like Eldfall that you can do cooperative play. That works a little bit better for competitive, as for narrative, I think. But for Infinity, it's always head-to-head, and you need to rotate through other players. There needs to be this narrative thread that leads you through all of them while leading them through everyone. I don't know, does it work? Outcomes of games need to influence the next stage. They do. And that's one of the challenges, because you have to have this structure. Like I say, I'm working on it at the moment hopefully for my community, if I can bash out the last details and stuff for next year. You have to also have some agency in the story. Completing mission A doesn't just get you to mission B. There has to be something that you understand as an influence, as a choice that you make to drive that thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mike, that's absolutely right. Narrative play gives you feels for the characters. Competitive play sends them to win or die as a serial number. And that is something with me that I very much have with the you can tell the armies that I love because they have character behind them. My Tunguska is the Helion Enforcer Corps. They are a brand new sub-faction inside of Tunguska. They're just coming up. They've recently established themselves after some very dodgy shenanigans. They've got some very seedy and dark backers, even from Tunguska, and there's a little bit of concern about whether they are externally influenced beyond the actual ship. But because they are new, they don't have necessarily the money that other ones would do, other factions, so sometimes their equipment's a bit hand-me-down, a bit tatty. That's why we have 2 Salamandras in the force. One is brand new and pristine and shiny, and the other one's called Scrap Heap Sally, and she's made up with bits and pieces of other sort of tags that have been salvaged. I like that kind of narrative, that kind of feel. So when I put stuff on the table with armies that I love, I know where I am, I know what I'm doing, and I know who they are, and there's a story to it. That really, really works for me. But faction allegiances are interesting narrative driver. They are. I'm back for a bit. Can't explode me out of there. Damn it, Kaz! We were just getting into talking about you. We had just talked about you extensively, actually. Oh, little red shirt. That's why I like the Direfoes mission packs. The Direfoes mission packs are a really cool example. They're this snapshot moment of this. If you've not seen the Direfoes mission packs, 3 miniatures in there, one from each of the factions. So most recently it was for Kestrel and for Shinda Mutai, and then an HVT, and then you could get a narrative story that ties them all together and you play the mission and do the thing. Now, I don't think the new one came with one, which was a bit, as I understand it. But yeah, they're very, very cool. But putting that together in this cohesive, long kind of format to tell a story is a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that need to happen. And giving people the feeling of agency, not just you can upgrade this guy with this, and you know, he has his story and all this kind of stuff, but actually feel like they're part of a real breathing world where they have impact and all this kind of thing, is a real challenge. It's a real complicated thing and really difficult to do. And I think whilst you can't do that, or the systems where it's not possible to do that, do a disservice to the concept of narrative play, because you're on a rail. You're going to go through this thing, and there's no agency, there's no control. I kind of think whoever cracks that ability to give players the sensation of not just narrative but control and agency in their decision making is going to blow things wide open. A box of minis not coming with any mission ideas or rules. What kind of heresy is this? Surely CB would never do that. Sandtrap. For those who didn't get the reference there. The monsters that they are. But yeah, so do you guys like narrative? Do you guys play narrative? Would you guys play narrative? Is that something that you want to do? Is that something you're interested in doing? Because I kind of want to. And I've got this great... I'll talk about some of it now, actually. So the plan that I have for next year is to use a map-based system, and it's going to be about gaining ground over a place. And I'm going to split my community into teams of 3. And they will be performing coordinated strikes with each of the territories they aim to gain, and they can choose which territory they get, and different territories have different bonuses and different features and all this kind of stuff. And when you come to a territory, they will have distinct biomes, distinct pluses and minuses and negatives and good stuff and bad stuff associated with them, and each team will choose which player will go to which area. Now they'll know the players they're up against, but they won't know who is deploying against them in each area. They'll make their decision, they'll choose A, B or C, and when that's done and that's locked in, we'll then announce this is who you're up against. Just to keep things really interesting and exciting, and there'll be other bits and pieces that I do around that and I have planned. It's going to be very cool. So yeah. Think of it for a weekend next year, yeah. Doesn't that narrative control lean more to RPG than tabletop wargaming? Although I guess MES can go full narrative, but it's a game based on an amazing story with tons of named characters. It does, but I think that there is a way to do it. I think, Kaz, there is a way to connect those things together. Not with light and fluffy. If you're playing a light and fluffy system, then no. But I think that things like Infinity is crunchy enough. There's enough depth there. War Machine is another one. I think you could do it with that. Drop Zone Commander, I don't think you could do it with. No offence, Legion, I don't think you can do it with. There's not enough there to do it. With those book sets like Defiance and Tag Raid solve that narrative issue? No, they don't, because they're kind of this... I mean, Defiance was more so, but it kind of... Again, it was no. No. And they had that habit. I think Walker Adventures is a better example, because that is still influencing the world that we have now. The world of Limworm that we have for the wargame is very much written off the back of things that happened within that board game, which is cool. But what about an overarching campaign? your generals, players, other characters, leading forces for an overall objective. That's kind of the direction that I'm leaning in with mine, and we have had those type of narrative events like Flame Strike and Wotan and all this kind of stuff for Infinity. But there wasn't a strong enough narrative, and it came down to factional behaviour, and that's kind of why Combined Army is where they are now. But anyway, that's a different story. That's not a story time we're doing today. But I want that heavier story, that feeling that you are engaging and infecting a real world, and like, you know, I think that would change things and make the engagement, the experience that much richer and that much deeper. And I think that really interests me. I think that's a really cool thing that Corvus Belli are not doing at the moment, and I really wish they would. I really wish that was something they did. I wouldn't do everything, so you know, I'm not an unreasonable person. I just want everything perfectly first time last week. That seems fair. Oh, and I don't want to pay for it. That's obviously, it would be rude. Why would I pay for anything? Yeah. So I think we're going to see how if I get the narrative system where I want it for next year. So we revert back to the RPG. Yeah. I mean, like, being able to sit down, Kaz, and organise a 6-9 month campaign with narrative elements within the framework that the system could provide. And I find that a lot of the time, especially these days, things get more half-assed. So you used to have it with Flames of War, as I understand, the World War II small-scale wargame, and from Battlefront Miniatures in New Zealand. And they used to bring out these boxes, like I think Firestorm was one of them, and you have a map and you have resources and you move around and you actually replay the combat campaign, and then when you get to combat you set up your armies and you play the game of Flames of War. And I think that is kind of the direction that it would be interesting to go, to have a narrative that's built, or that you can build, that players can then play through. Yes, they are, Mike. That's absolutely true. I did sell Legion somewhat short. It occurred to me afterwards. They are looking to do that. So he took the Battle Company's playstyle of Middle Earth and made it overall campaign. Cool. He's an interesting character, is Zorpazorp. I have watched his career with interest. Is he quitting this week? Oh no. That is purely a tease. I know he's had a lot of stress, but yeah, I would check that out. Battle Companies, I would check it out. Cheers, buddy. I'll see what that's about. And it would be good to have something for Infinity. I think we need it. I think we need to kind of... There was a period of time where there was the beginnings of a sniff of fluffiness to some of the edges of Infinity, so you could go narrative if you wanted. And then at some point we kind of zoned in onto ITS, and that became a lot of the community's only focus. And I think I think we're missing an opportunity. We could be better. We could be so much more. We could be fluff bunnies. Anyhow, if you want a narrative, you would want to see the troops grow. Everything starts as a Fusilier, and if they survive, they can be promoted to a Griffin or Scarecrow. That could be fun. Yeah, I guess so, but maybe not necessarily that granular. Not having individual, like, if you do well, then you can get an extra couple of points here, or an extra point of SWC, or you get this free trooper, or whatever. Just, you need to be obviously carefully balance it to ensure it doesn't sort of snowball. Of like, well, he's won 1, so he's got a bonus, and then he's, because of that bonus he's won 2, and then he's won 2, he's won 3, and then he's won 5, and then, you know. Mordheim was successful this idea. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Mordheim is something that I'm aware of, but I've not done a lot of work on, so I need to, maybe need to look into that. I think there's a gap. Would you guys play Narrative Infinity? If Narrative Infinity was a thing, is that something you would do? Or are you just here for that dopamine hit of win or lose at the tournament? Of course, yeah. Is that a thing that you would do? Who knows? Here's a question. Would you be okay seeing the ITS side slow down or be worse off to see narrative take off? I imagine CB doesn't have the resources to really push both at a high level. So, Kaz, here's the blunt, honest, hip-fire accuracy. Miserable Badger's like, yes, give me the stuff. Just give it to me. And fair play. So balanced that pulling resources from that might hurt the game overall. Tournament or machine, I know. The least fluffy human being I know. I'm not surprised that you're like, no, leave my ITS alone. I don't think it's an either-or situation, Kaz, is the straight answer, because they have background software that runs the ITS for the bulk of the year. You know, it reset September, October, run for the rest of the year. Develop missions, they've just overhauled it. But the mission development side of things, I don't know. I don't think that that's going to take all the year. So I don't think that it would be an either or, and there has been a framework. There is precedent for the start of this with Campaign Buried So, which we had in N2, that had a lot of all the starts of the element of the stuff that I would suggest they should have. But it's building that story around it, it's developing it. Would you be interested in taking part of that? ITS not relevant to this. Would that be something you'd want to do? Neil, so here's a groundbreaking idea straight out of my head. We've all heard of twinning of towns and twinning your loo with the loo in Zimbabwe, like the WC in our church. I have not heard of people twinning their toilets, and the thought and the images I'm now getting are something I may need therapy to recover from. And exchange programs, I've heard of that. Visiting clubs spends a weekend of gaming and social events with a different club. Yeah, I like the idea. My local club, my local group, club, community, whatever, the Buccaneers, that community is run by a series of officers, let's call them community officers, who have different roles inside of it. And Kuhn Machine is our excursions officer. It's his job, as of recently, to go and find events for us to go and swamp. And he's doing a good job. He found one at the start of next year and rallied the troops, and I think 8 or 9 of us are going. I can't remember how many. Just get together, boom, turn up, party. So yeah, absolutely. I think visiting and going around each other is a really good idea. It's a great way to strengthen communities, and we're trying to do that. We're actively trying to outreach and engage. I'm trying to connect with more of my local gamers and other people in the local area, local 2 hours drive either way sort of thing, to strengthen links. So it's kind of, oh, you have an event, well, we won't have an event there too, but we will come to you, that kind of thing. But then narrative on top of that would be peak. One man crowd. I guess narrative can be put together from two sides, either like the events in Warcry where you get narrative elements within the matches, and something like Mordheim where you can evolve your troops. Yeah, I think so. And I think that the Warcry within like the action-packed type boxes, you do have a narrative story that flows through and all that kind of thing. So I think it can be done. It's just building a framework so that the results feel valuable, feel weighty, and you have narrative about, you have agency, about what happens next. I think that's important. So Infinity needs a rule set like Stargrave, fully narrative and still crunchy. I don't know enough about Stargrave, but fully narrative and still crunchy. I think the core of Infinity is good. I think it's just the icing on the outside or on the base, depending on who you are, but the icing that goes on top of that could maybe be a little bit more fancy and could have something that is a little bit more coherent and together. I guess the magic is the balancing between those two. The evolve your troops part can get extreme if not balanced well. That's the problem, is ensuring that there's not space for the absolutely ridiculously stupid. And I think there was at one point with Infinity and Spec Ops, I seem to recall, and don't quote me on this, but I seem to recall there was the ability of having something like a Fusilier that you paid Fusilier points for, but it was a Spec Ops, and that Spec Ops had been upgraded, so it had like BS 14 or BS 15 and mimetism and a heavy machine gun, and it was still 10 points because it's funny, and it was. But anyway, so yeah, it needs to be careful. You need to be careful. I would play it, but if 1 out of 10 people play narrative and you are the one, yeah, I get that. I get that, but I think that's where sometimes the current trend toward narrative, and I think that's what is on my mind with it so heavily. The narrative play that you have out there is kind of a, ooh, there's people doing things, and then you can like sort of progress. I mean something that feels, it's got some heft to it, it's got some weight to it. Here's the story, you know? You can get one-shots for RPGs where it's like, right, so here's your grounding, this is your structure. Putting together a series of events that are interconnected and, I guess, narrative event packs? Is that what I'm driving towards? That contain a progression system within them, a branching narrative system within them. Is that kind of what I'm thinking of? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe that's what I'm thinking is missing. Warcrow, I love the narrative around it, but I find that, like with Sog of the Dormant, some of the narrative around it can be a bit, ooh. And I want something that's more crunchy, that you feel like you're there, you do it, you're engaged in a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just one man's dreams. Who knows? Maybe I should sort that out. Maybe that's what we should do. Would you play my narrative structure for Infinity? So you can still be crunchy, you can still be competitive, but you're going to do it with story. Is that a thing? To have this great narrative of Morats versus Shock Army in the middle of the jungle in Paradiso. There's something like Stargrave, Frostgrave, or even Gloomhaven, Frosthaven. I've played Gloomhaven. I've played the Havens. We're approaching fifth edition. What you mean is in which 5th edition? There's many 5th editions. Are you talking about 40k? Mike, that is a grenade. I'm going to be stuck on that until you explain yourself. Mike's here. Yeah, been putting masking tape on for 2 hours now. I'm tired, boss. If you're gonna do your World War II miniatures properly, you're gonna be doing the masking tape stuff. It's a thing. No one to blame but yourself. I remember having to mask up an entire set of dropships for Drop Zone Commander. Did they look amazing when they were done? Yes. Did it suck when I did it? Also, yes. Absolutely hated it. Horrible experience. Neil, 5th edition Monopoly. I don't know what to say to you. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. I'm going to cogitate on it. I'm going to give that some more thoughts. We should maybe do something narrative within the channel at some point. I don't know. I got so many ideas and not enough time. There is a system in D&D called Hexcrawl. Would be cool to integrate something like that. That's, Robin, exactly the direction that I am going with our narrative event for January, February, Q1 next year. Yeah, you're damn right, giggly smiley face. Mr. Ice Beerman here. So, are we going to do Eldfall? We're going to do Eldfall. My head's complete mush now, but we're going to do Eldfall because I want to do it. We've got nice stuff and we're going to see pretty stuff. Just go back to the RPG. I'm not going back to the Infinity. I own a lot of the Infinity RPG books, actually. I use it for narrative stuff when I'm not bugging Warlord. Which is good fun. Bugging Warlord is fun. Right, so who's ready for some Eldfall? If you're not, I don't care because we're doing it. I did not spend minutes creating this so that you lot don't get to see it. Where's the blooming... I've lost the thing. New drinking game. Every time I get a long stare from Hydra, I drink more Ryoga. Oh boy. How quickly can we get Neil being incoherent, more incoherent in the chat? Probably quite quickly. You're going to be drinking a lot. Damn straight. Yeah, Eldfall, baby. So, Eldfall. There's the button. Show. We're going to start off with some stuff. So, we have kind of been in limbo for a long period of time with our friends in Eldfall because, let's be honest, there was the whole thing, we were waiting for the Northern Winds dungeon crawler. Northern Winds? Winds from the North is Warcry. Anyway, Northern Winds dungeon crawler. It's been coming. I'm staring at you very slowly right now, Neil. More drinking, please. And so, yeah, we've been waiting for that Kickstarter to deliver. It was delayed, but it's out now, and so we're getting to our reinforcements box. So these are going to be the first expansions that we've seen for things like Thenian, for the 4 core factions. If you're not familiar with Eldfall, there are 4 core factions. We have sub-factions, especially now that the Dungeon Crawler is out, because you get goblins, trolls, goblins, and the other guys, Oni, in there. Those are sub-tiny factions, whereas the big ones. So we've got some big ones, and we had this image earlier on this year. So this is the Queen's Blade Reinforcement Pack for Coalition of Thenian. If you're not familiar with Coalition of Thenian, they are dark murder elves, basically. That's what you're looking at. These are assassin murder elves. You can see it by the pointy ears, you can see it by the pokey sticks they're carrying. These guys are kind of assassins. They are very glass cannony, but they can also do things like become incorporeal and walk through walls. So they make up for it, and they can be surprisingly quick, and they can be surprisingly capable. Now, again, if you've not seen these as well, Eldfall miniatures are all unicorn. So when you see these renders and then you get the miniatures in your hand, they're the same thing, which is just freaking great. They're beautiful and they're really great to work with. And Eldfall itself is very much Infinity N3, very much a similar beast to that, but with magic and sorcery and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have a quick look at the Queen's Blade, and it's going to be quick, but we have the stat cards for these. So 3 miniatures in the box. These guys are very much in keeping with their predecessors in the original Reinforcements box and the Wayfarers box. I've got the Wayfarers box and the starter set as well. So you're looking at assassin death dealers, basically. Not very good in defense, so the def is pretty low, but they're quick. They've got the 6 on the move. They die relatively easily. Their morale is relatively low, but as ever on the back, you have got a whole load of buffing goodness on here. So that Assassination 1 enables them to get +6 power. So back on the front card, your power is your toughness. So if using a short sword or a dagger, probably using the short sword, it's your T value, which is 10. Now, D20 system, so 10 is right middle of the road. But if you start adding +6 to that, it starts becoming a lot more deadly. So this little guy, he can deploy up to midline. He's just nasty. He's just nasty. And at 17 points, you can take 2 of them. I think there's a lot of mileage in that. And it's also, I mean, it's guy on the right there. It's a gorgeous miniature. It's a lovely little dude's minute, has to be said. Oh, Kaz, you're off again. Bye. I'm not familiar with Eldfall. Then you are losing at life. Go forth immediately and bolster the vacuum economy. Absolutely, Neil. Completely agreed. Stat cards graphics have been reworked. That is completely right. One Man Crowd. They have put them. They've changed up the. You've got a lot more icons and stuff like that, and it's sort of cleaned things up, which I do approve of. The original ones were a little bit like. So I appreciate them doing that. No, keep the pretty pictures of the only murder elves. We need more murder elves. They are brilliant. Is there a demo of this online somewhere? Not that I've seen, and I've not seen it on TTS or anything like that yet, Mike. But you do have free rules, and I do think they had pop-ups that you could use and stuff like that, of sort of standees that you can use. But it's a D20 system. You can download the cards online. There is a free army builder online as well. And if you play Infinity, this will be very, 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 very familiar with you. One of the big differences between the two, actually, while we're looking at this card, is you see the like arrow with the arrow above it, on the sort of right-hand side at the top, the 2 underneath it. That's the number of activations you can get. So rather than having an order system, every unit has its own number of activations in the active and the reactive phase. So the hired blade only gets to do 2 reactions, 2 AROs, which is, you know, yeah. Yeah, they are nicer, Neil. They are much nicer. Coming to your channel soon. Ooh, does that mean I'm going to get invited over to play you at Eldfall? Because I'd be up for it. They do have explainer videos done by the fantastic Samo. Absolute legend. Right, anyway, moving on. Then we have a swashbuckler. So, again, fast, defense attack, fairly average. Toughness is a little bit buffed up by comparison to the other one. But on the back, we have all the pokey. So that fencing 2, target spinning suffers -3 mod, or target spinning suffers -1 strike, which is just nasty. So you can actually reduce the output of your enemy. You can actually use your leader to put buffs with strategies on these guys as well, but it's just a fairly solid melee unit. It's not awful. The warrior can be used to buff things. The keyword system is probably the only really tough bit that you have inside, in my opinion anyway, inside of Eldfall. You need to know what rogue means. You need to know what warrior means. Things like duelist, dash, dual wield, and fencing 2, they're explained on the back. But rogue, warrior, those are not explained on the back, which is a little bit annoying. But swashbuckler, pretty cool. 16 points, limit 2, so yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Blade Brethren Elite. So, you see at the bottom, we have stratagems listed there. Stratagems means this is a boss person. So this is a new leader. You'd be very welcome to visit to the Astoria. That would be very cool, Neil. We'll have to see if we can make that happen. So, this is a new leader for Thenian, which is a big deal. Having a new leader is a big deal. Morale 12 is not awful. I mean, it's not so good, but it's not terrible. So I think it's better than the existing one. I think that's 8. So it's a lot. And then you have all of these abilities inside of here. Mastercrafted Sword, once per activation or reaction, the user may reroll 1 attack roll. That's potent. Power is toughness, which is 12. Reach 1. Strike is stamina, so 2 strike. Melee weapon, 1 weight. Now, if you're not familiar, the weight and the quantity, you have weight because you have limitations on what individual troops can carry in this game. Traits, duelist, resourceful 1, so you can take an additional upgrade, which is fairly common actually with the leaders in this game. The fencing 3, so she has the ability to use an extra strike, which is pretty nasty. That gets her up to 3 duffs with that mastercrafted sword, which can then re-roll, which is also nasty. Follow up, you can change people that disengage. 23 points is not bad for a leader actually in this. Stealth wear is also kind of useful, but those stratagems are new and interesting. So these are, at the start of your turn, you can choose to switch one of these on effectively. That's what a stratagem is. So it goes on, something else goes off. So, disheartened, target one enemy in line of sight. It must perform a halved morale roll. On a failure, it loses an action point. So, if you have a limited number of action points, so limited number of things you can do in a turn, AROs effectively, the ability to just nuke one of those off of a key target is pretty horrible. It's a pretty nasty thing to do. Guerrilla tactics, rogues and assassins gain hit and run, so hit and disappear, and backstab is I think a bonus to damage if you hit in the back. Vicious opportunism. Attacks made by friendly models against crouched targets may re-roll 1 attack die and gain +6 power and cleave. Oof. So you have abilities that basically knock people on their ass, and if you succeed in doing that, this vicious opportunism stratagem will mean that you knock the enemy over and then you're just going to nuke them from orbit, because that re-roll is going to make it incredibly consistent. You're going to get your hits in. Then you're just deleting your enemy, you know? It's just... I hate the murder elves. I mean, it's only got 2 wounds. It's going to die fairly easily. It's not that tough. It's not that armoured. 3 armour is not that strong. But if you get hit by this particular love bundle and happiness, it's going to suck hugely. And I mean, let's go back to the miniatures. She's the one in the middle. I mean, the fluff, the pointy ears, the tood. These guys know what they're doing. And every time I think I can deal with it, they pull me back in. So the important thing is that these are incredibly cool, incredibly gorgeous. They're going to be incredibly fun to play because it's going to really switch up what you can do with Coalition of 30. It's going to make things different and interesting, which is really freaking cool. New leaders make all the difference in this game, and the fact that we've got another one, heck yes. Here for it all day long. But when can you have it? Glad you asked. So Queen's Blade, the set we're just looking at, that comes out this month. So Thenian players, you're going to get all the toys just about now. January, we're going to get an unknown, as yet unnamed reinforcements box for Soga. So that's the important faction, Soga. That's going to happen in January. And then in March and May, we're going to get the other 2. So the Sand Kingdoms and Helion League. They're going to happen there. They think they know which way around it's going to happen, but it hasn't been finally pinned down. So it's going to be those 2, March and May next year. So everyone should buy Soga because they're cool. That's January sorted. And then March, you've got enough time to sort of recover your finances and then go back in on the new stuff in March. So that, yeah, look forward to that. That's brand new, hot off the press today. We were just told that today. I am involved in the War Master. Is it War Master? Guild Master. I always get that wrong. It's really embarrassing. I'm a Guild Master for that system. So, you know, we get told this information. I was told I could tell you guys. So there you go. New toys coming soon. But the new Soga stuff, this is the Great Guard. This is one of the 3 miniatures that is going to be in that box, basically, for Soga when that drops in January of next year. Now, we had seen these renders before. This is not in any way, shape or form news. We knew this was a thing. It's absolutely fine. But we hadn't actually seen the miniatures. Now, for those of you who don't know, we had Spale last weekend. Last weekend? I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. Recently, we had Spale where the guys from Free Company came along and they showed off these miniatures in the flesh. And lots of people got the through glass iffy pictures, which they're nice enough. But new friend of the channel, an absolute legend, Sebastian, went one step further. And I was told I could share one image from the new set for Soga on live stream tonight. So, without further ado, the Great Guard, that's the render. That's the frickin' miniature. Oof. I have to say, oh, it's pretty. I mean, the guys that paint it, they do a lovely job, but these are unicorn miniatures. So those details are crispy. And it's just pretty. I mean, it's just, look at it. I need 2, and I can probably only have 1, but I don't know why he's got a fan. I don't care. I'm going to hit the enemy with it anyway. Just a gorgeous miniature. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, there's first proper look at the new guys coming on the way. So nice. Such a cool miniature. I'm going to be really interested to see how it plays. For those of you not familiar, Soga is probably the most straightforward, easy to master kind of faction in Eldfall. It's not. There's no finesse. There's no subtlety. It's just, I'm going to smash you in the face, and yeah, you're going to stop doing whatever I didn't want you to do. That's kind of what they do. That's kind of their whole shtick. But Sebastian, thank you so much for taking those images. I really greatly appreciate that, and I'm really grateful that we got to show them because I think it's freaking cool. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is that awesome? Is that cute? Because I know quite a few of you are interested. I know there's problems, people having issues getting them inside of the US. But what do you think? Interesting or not? I think very cool. Love you. Naginata. I absolutely adore it when people know all the names for this stuff, because obviously you've got the very Asian influence there. The guys at Free Company, they have a background in the history of that area, so they know it really, really well, and they have all these wonderful words, and I'm like, that's cool. I think it looks nice. That's as far as they go. So I think the fact that you know what it's called means you should get into the game, because as soon as I get you into that game, you're playing Infinity. Anywho, pretty with a violin. Everyone needs a violin. Going to war with violin is a perfectly legitimate tactic. Yep, there's Sebastian. Yes, thank you for sharing. Very much appreciated, dude. Next year I will bring a big camera for even better quality photos. Do it! Do it! We need it. Interested in seeing more things. Yeah, Nightwind, it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. We saw more images, courtesy of Sebastian, in the Guildmasters Discord, and it was just like, oh, but I need it now. But I want it now. Why can't I have it now? It's a thing, and it's pretty, and I want to put it on the table and do that thing with it. PAX U, I don't know, Mike, is the straight answer. Which means, as you have this ability, you not only throw the grenades into the chat, you ask things that I'm like, oh yeah, I need to learn arm laser. I'm going to ask whether they're going to be at PAX U. I don't know what PAX U is, but I will ask Free Company if they're going to be there. And if they are, I will let you know. Adepticon Jedi. I'll ask if they're okay. If they're coming across the pond, I'll ask the question. Dear Lord. Honestly. I will ask the question. And if they are, I'll tell them to buy boxes for you. One of everything. Just to make things easier. Because then you don't have to worry about buying anything else, because you'll have everything, and that'll be great. That's how it works, right? Entirely how it works, clearly. Dang it, it's such a beautiful mini. Dude, I'm going to bring... Oh, I've put mine away. I have put mine away. I mean, we're going to do it. This is the wife's murder elves. And they are incredibly pretty. Incredibly nicely detailed. And they've got the drama and the flow to them and detail, and they're just lovely. And the existing Soga stuff, which I just put away the other day, also. The quality of the miniatures makes me want to bite my brushes in half, because I'm nowhere near as good as I should be to make that work. But it's just the world we live in. Just the world we live in. But first I'm getting myself a proper paint set other than Action Rattle Cans and Action Low Pigment Paint. You really need to do that. That's the thing you need to get on, young man. That is the thing you need to get on. We shall speak of this later, young man. Definitely. Such cool minis to build and paint. Oh, they go together so well, don't they, Neil? When you get the miniatures, and there was one miniature, possibly one of the ones up there, that when I got it, I was like, and you take a minute and you see how it goes together, and it just fits. It just sort of, you don't even have to glue it, because the models have been designed in such a way and then cut up in such a way that you can push them together, and most of them stay there. It's just great. It's just so nicely done. But if the clan champion can have horns, why does the new mini need to have bunny ears on the helmet? I am sure that there is some form of... there was the old one. Drink. I am sure that there is some reason that... I'm sure there is some reason that is the case, that he has the bunny ears, not the horns. I'm sure it's traditional. I'm sure it's very full of the Asian persuasion. I don't know. What you should do is write into them and ask them, because I don't know. Tempting me towards more minis, but do I even want to resist? No, you don't. Because Free Company are lovely human beings, incredibly community focused, they've learned so much from Corvus Belli, okay? The good stuff. And they've ditched the bad stuff, and they're as hyped about their game as everyone else is, and it's brilliant. Because we started off and you needed 3 miniatures. It's the other thing about Eldfall is you have a smaller force. It's really tiny little thing. And then now we're kind of up to 4, and I think we're going to be at 5 soon, which I think is where it's going to stop. But it's so cool. A 3x3 table, really small scale, super fast. You play with 3 or 4 miniatures, you're done in an hour. If you play against my wife, you're done in 15 minutes. At the game, to be clear. And yeah, very cool. Okay, you do need a demo. I'm glad we agree on this one. It'll be nice for you to try something else which is in your wheelhouse, but not quite as disgustingly crunchy and has a different flow in the way that it goes. It'll make you a better Infinity player, which is saying something because you are a mean Infinity player. So would this be on the same level as Bushido or Malifaux? I don't know Bushido very well. Malifaux, Eldfall is lighter than Malifaux. It is a lighter system than Malifaux by a long way. Which does not mean to say that it lacks depth. And there are very distinct elements of Malifaux in that game. But like I have not had the time to play Eldfall for a few months now. And the concept of picking it up and playing again is kind of like, sure, I can do that. I found that when I played Mali, if I had a month off of Mali, I was like, oh, God, right. So, right. And there was that real feeling of, okay, how do the rules fit together? And how does my list fit together? And how does my rules and list interact? And what's my enemy bringing? Very heavy, very intensive with the stuff that you need to know. Eldfall is not that. Eldfall is not that. It is the depth of Infinity and not quite. On that sort of trajectory, the options of Infinity, but not quite. Faster, cleaner, fun. There's a real great quality of life things in there. Like you read in the rule book, and it says about pre-measuring. There's 3 different types of pre-measuring: pre-measure everything, pre-measure nothing, and somewhere in the middle. And the rule book is like, up to you. How you want to play it? Whatever you think is best. Just be clear with your opponents. So everybody knows. Awesome. We're not gonna punish you for not knowing instinctively what 6 inches is. So, yeah, Knight Temple Priestess. I need to start building first. Painting comes later. Well, yes, I wouldn't paint before they're built. That's never going to go well, Sebastian. Searching the map, the player map, if there is a player nearby. Message me and let me know where you are, because I know some peeps, and maybe if you went to Spell, depending on whether you are east or west, you might actually be quite close by. So, I didn't even see the new minis at Spell because I was on the rush to the bouncy castle, so this is not my surprised face. I am entirely accepting of the fact that you were on the way to the bouncy castle. Entirely. There's at least an unofficial tabletop module somewhere, it seems. Yeah, I know that there's TTS is a thing, and like Kuhn's gonna be all over me like a rash in a minute, but it's just not for me. It's not a thing. Not a thing that I want to do. Not interested. I paint my miniatures. I want my miniatures. So, you know. Yeah. Anywho, but maybe that's a good way to learn. Maybe that's a good. Yeah. You know. Who knows? Who knows? But definitely, if you haven't looked at Eldfall, take a few minutes and go and check out the website. Eldfall Chronicles is the full name of the system. Go and check them out. Go and see what they're doing, because they're doing really interesting things. They're doing really community-focused things. They're doing really fun things, interesting things. The miniatures are fantastic. The quality is awesome. You have like the price as well is brilliant. The 2-player starter sets are phenomenal. Great value. 2 full starter armies for both sides that are legitimately worth having. And because you don't have a lot of miniatures in the range at the moment, they are a substantial percentage of the whole available range. And the miniatures are just beautiful, and they look as good. I think there was one day that I built a complete starter box of 6 miniatures in under 30 minutes, and I had tea in the middle because I was in shock. So maybe I'm thinking it's small count like Arena X. I don't know Arena X, but yes, it is a small count. 3 to 5 miniatures and you're done. You know, if you go for something like Goblins, then you can end up with more. If you go for something like Oni, who have less miniatures but more activations, then you end up with less miniatures. I kind of sort of said that, but you know what I mean. So they look amazing. I might need to look for US based purchasing. One, a Yado. Two, there is definitely people that can. Definitely. Well, good. Awesome, Robin. Glad to hear. That's amazing. When can I have them? Gimme. Now's good. There's not a lot of traffic on the road as well. You could pop over, say hello to stream in person, and then go home. Again, no issues with this at all. TTS is necessary if I want to play more often, but face-to-face is way better. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely good. I get it. And the thing is, you are a incredibly capable and hungry player. So having TTS lets you play in different metas, which has improved you even further. There's no two ways about that. If I played TTS and I was prepared to play online, I would be a better player. I'm no slouch, but you know, it's absolutely true. You learn things, you see things differently, you get different experiences and different understanding by playing different metas. And you can't get that as easily when you only play in one fixed meta locally. That's the thing. And that's the other reason that you have the role of being, you know, getting us out there and being the expeditionary leader, because then we can try different metas and learn different things and learn different ways that people play, and tell them why they're wrong, because that's very important that they know why they're wrong. Yeah, cut off the feed halfway. Thank you for doing those, buddy. I appreciate it. I've got on my to-do list for this week. So I've got new toys this week, which is cool. I've got so many things. I didn't just actually get the stuff for Shock Army this week. We also picked up some more Warcry. Picked up some more Hegemony. Remember, it's like, so I wanted the arquebuses for a while. I think they're very, very funky miniatures. The only downside of these, CO cast. So that was a little disappointing, but freaking cool and really high damage output. So we've got those, and then we got zombies. Yelderbath. These turned up, and they're unicool, and I was so relieved. I opened the box up and I was like, and it was unicool, and there was a little squeak of happiness, a medium-sized squeak of happiness. But they've redone the cards for these. They released a card pack so that you could play with the Warcry Adventures, Husks, Zombies, and the new card that's in the box is substantially different from the old cards, so they've changed them up massively. Yeah, TTS is huge in the God tier community, but it definitely plays slightly differently to face-to-face. Yes, I know, there is feudum here too, but it's your... Do you want me to show you your feudum? Because it's just up there. Hang on. This is not mine. This has nothing to do with me. This actually belongs to Robin, but he seems to want to show the world. So, there you go. If you lick the screen now, Robin, you can be really close to your miniatures. You own these. These are yours. Look at it. We're meeting up for the club night on Saturday. Maybe I'll leave these here. Maybe I won't. We'll have to see how that goes. But look, nice. They are, to be fair, these are gorgeous miniatures. Guardians of the Mounds are phenomenal. The skeletal helmets, I was here for it. As soon as I saw those, I was like, yep, want that. Like it very much. So yeah, we've got that. I've got to get those built this week because I need to get my Yelderbath painted and up together, because then Robin and I are going to play games, and I need to do some more demo stuff. We need to continue the Traveller's Guide to Warcry. Get that up for you guys to see, because more people need to see the Warcry world. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to finish off the Traveller's Guide to Warcry, which is going to be shorter than the Infinity Academy, because there's not as much to say. Then I'm going to do some stuff on bolt action, because my biggest... Oh no, the bases are at home, what a shame. Are we going to have a hostage exchange halfway between your house and mine? I want to do some more bolt action, because the highest performing video that I have at the moment is a bolt action one ever. and it continues to get regular views. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, we need to progress the community, we need to progress the channel, so I'm going to do some stuff on there. But I think start of next year is going to be a big shove on Eldfall, because the world needs more Eldfall, and Eldfall needs more of the world. So we're going to be doing some of that. Yes. So you bought the war rig. Has it turned up yet? Have you seen the war rig? It's so pretty. Look at it. Look at the size of the thing. This thing is a monster. I love it so much. I cannot wait to paint it. Really cannot wait to paint it. I should give it a snazzy paint job to cleanse the palette. Yeah, you should do it. It's the war rig to me is definitely a spoiling miniature. I'm going to paint it as a reward for something, because it's that kind of thing. I'm not doing conflict, Mike. Stop it. You're as bad as Kaz. Everyone has things they want me to play. Honestly. On a Misty Bridge, that exchange needs to happen like a good old Cold War movie. Yeah, Misty Bridges in the Netherlands are definitely a thing. You get mist and you get bridges. There's a lot of water everywhere. So yeah, it's really nice. The plastic is quality too. Yeah, it's Unicorn plastic, dude. It's amazing. Really detailed. And putting the chest plate on to cover the pilot, I was like, Anyway. Look at the war rig in all its unpainted glory. Yes, I know. You have any idea how busy I am? Oh my gosh, the war rig is amazing. Dylan Aronio. Yes, it is. Do you want to have another look? Should you have another proper look? Just because it's the kind of miniature you just want to show off a little bit. You see the detail on like that spike over the head? Don't focus, you damn thing. There we go. And like the little, I love the little flamethrower on the shoulder, because this is legitimately a flamethrower. There, focus on this thing. Anyway, and the detail on the shoulders with like the birds and stuff. It's just, they've done such a cracking job with this. Absolutely cannot fault it. Putting it together was an absolute joy. Even without instructions, it was clear how it went together, and it went together so nicely. I love this shoulder with the like bird on it. There we go. Kind of see it there with the wings and the head. So freaking cool. Not a sniff of true metallic metal shall cover it. It'll be non-metallic metal everywhere. Just for you, Mike. Just because I know you like it. Pull your finger out. I've had it weeks. Pull your finger out. So I need to paint 3 miniatures by Saturday, because I have my last league game on Saturday, and painting 3 miniatures gets me points. So I'm kind of like, right, I need to do that. I thought I had longer, because I thought my opponent was like, oh, I'll do it later. But no, it needs to be done by Saturday. That's not going to happen. So we're not getting that point. I have a tournament on the 22nd, which I'm taking Tunguska for, which I actually want to take. I want to take this horrible bag of bones with me, because I think it's going to be fun. So as you can see, that's not even sprayed yet. So we have a long road to go ahead of that. And I have to paint all of my scions so that I can do the Traveller's Guide too. We're a long way away from me getting back into my hegemony, which is clearly why I've just bought more, because it makes perfect sense. I don't know, have you seen my... I don't know if I've even shown you guys my scheme for hegemony. They're actually sat down here. Are you done? No, you're not finished. I'm not showing that. Wait a second. This is very exciting. I should just pick this up. That'd be a lot quicker and easier, wouldn't it? So this is kind of, it's an in progress thing, but my hegemony is actually purple and green. Doesn't really show it that well. But unicorn miniatures. So they're going to all be purple and green with the snowy bases and stuff. It's very poppy purple in person, but of course the webcam, because my wife played with it. Terrible. But and yes, there is lore for them before anyone asks, and it is from the big book. So anyway, I'm going to get there, Neil. Just have lots more to do. We'd see it better if it's... Oh my god! Spent hundreds on bolt action and still doesn't make fits. So, what? Don't start. Yes. It would help if companies didn't do like Corvus Belli did today and make me spend quite some time putting together stuff, assets for tonight, to then go, you can't talk about it. But yes, I need to do more. You are quite right on that front. Minier. I need to do more bolt action. I want to do more bolt action. I want to play more bolt action, but don't get me started on that. We keep having an uneven number for events, and that sort of throws me out. Oh, my crowd. Northern Tribes Troll is a chunky boy as well. It doesn't come across in the pictures. Yeah, that looks gorgeous too. Big rock trolly badass. Love it. Might even Frankenstein a different chest plate so the pilots are visible. Oof. If you do that, I need to see it. That'll be it. Yeah, I'm still going. I'm going to go in a minute now. You've upset me. That's it. I'm leaving. We'll see about those medals. Yeah, you will. Got some progress on Discord. I shall look forward to that in a second. By no means, it's simply a matter of preventing death. Or guaranteeing it when the whole lot falls on top of you. One or the other. Hobson. Is the war rig a hegemony model or a different faction? It's hegemony. It's hegemony of Embassy. So, here's the big boy. And you can actually get little engineers that go with. And where are they gone? Where are they gone? They're in here. I painted one the other day. There she is. What I love about hegemony is the fact that it's elves, humans, and dwarves right together. So you get the big war rig, and then you put a little dwarf with it. It's a little cute dwarf. And you can either have a character version or a generic engineer version. Very, very cool miniatures. Love them greatly. Which also came with... where's my... Oh, there it is. I wondered where you were gone. If you know anything about your lore, you have the twins inside of the lore. So you have the spellcaster, who has just started to be painted, and then you have their twin, Galfalchion, which we now have. This was also in with the engineer. So these two, when they activate, they can activate together. They can do things together because they're twins. It's a really cool feature in the game. It's kind of like, to be honest with you, I'm never going to run the Galfalchion. The only reason I got it was to get the engineer to buff my war rig, because somebody said big stumpy robot, and I said yes, and then they said big stumpy robot, but you can buff it, and I was like, just take my money. I'm not even going to bother. I don't even care what it is, just give it me. But the Galfalchion came with that one. It's like, well, that's a really cool feature that I'm never going to use. But here we are. So you don't discuss the new Web Warriors for MCP? No, because don't do MCP, darling. I watch Marvel, I don't play it. That's just the thing. I'm sad to say I withdrew my Warcry purchase, decided I don't have it in me to start another game. I was responsible. Kaz, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed, disturbed and disgusted. I preferred it when you were playing horrible blooming lists in Legion. Then at least I could respect you in the morning. But cancelling a purchase, imagine that poor store owner, their little face. They thought, oh, finally I can feed Tiny Tim and little Jezebel. Now they're hungry again. It's down to you, Kaz. It's entirely your fault, you monster. I think you're picking up Warcry soon. Don't know if anyone plays at my era though. Well, you know, details. The only thing that I would caution you on, Dylan Areno, I love it. I think I'd caution you on with Warcry is that there is quite a lot of Seocast in there. And if you're not used to working with Seocast, it can be a bag of dicks. I use a bad word on stream. I will stand by it. It really can suck. I've been working with it today because certain miniatures inside of the Infinity range are Seocast, and it's just not a nice material. It's just not nice to work with. So if you are a new hobbyist and you don't have experience of working with plastics and resins and metals and stuff like that with miniatures, maybe give it a time or two, because there's going to come a point where they have to stop putting stuff out in Seocast. The pushback is too strong. So he did. He deprived their children of shoes. Oh, dinner bread is terrible, Neil. Can you believe that, Kaz? I thought he was nice. I added the new Web Warriors to the collection. Still need to build them. I've looked at MCP repeatedly, and it's one of those things where you go, yay! Just doesn't resonate. Does not resonate. Seacast has put me off diving into Warcrow. As much as I like the hegemony range, I hope they redo the basics and better material. Yeah, you and me both. You and me. That is the thing. Because it's not a cheap game. It's not cheap to get into. Because it's bigger scale than Infinity, so you don't need 15 miniatures, because you only need 15 miniatures for Infinity. It is 2025, and those 2025 are arguably more per piece than they are for Infinity. So it's kind of, yeah, there's that whole discussion of, is it worth it? Is it good? If you're not good with Seacast, if you've never played with it, if you've never seen it, see it before you pull the trigger. That is a genuine request or suggestion from me to you. As somebody who loves the game, clearly I love the game. Clearly I've bought into the game more than is reasonably healthy. But so, like, yeah, there's a good example. So these are unicals, so it's not too bad. But this box here, you've got 4 miniatures in there. Okay, you've got 4 miniatures. That's everything that's in the box there. You get a couple of cards. And that's €45. Now, I didn't buy that because I buy it from a local gaming store that gives a discount and look after us. You buy it direct from Corvus, but it's €45. It is unical, so it's not so much of a problem with that, but when it comes to the stuff that isn't... Yeah. Right. I think MCP is better than Shatterpoint, at least. I've not been a fan of Shatterpoint. I bought into Shatterpoint... When it first was announced, one was on a beach in Egypt and sunning oneself, and I saw it come up and I was like, oh, dang it, pull the trigger. I was playing Legion at the time, haha, Kaz. I was just up to my ears. You couldn't turn in my life for Legion. And I was like, wow, this is obviously the thing I should do. So I pulled the trigger on it, and then the email came through a little bit later confirming the order. And I bought the base set, and I bought the terrain, and blah, 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 blah. And it was like €300-400. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't Shatterpoint. It was just too much. It was too expensive. The price was too damn high. So, yeah, you know, damn well I'm not nice, and I ordered from CB directly. They will get over it. Fair point well made. Yes, they will. Carlos, he doesn't need to eat. You can see it. He's been fed too much. I can't get past the price of Warcry with the random choices of plastics. Mike, I wish I could say anything to negate that. I can't. And it's a conversation that I have with people of great system. The unicorn miniatures are stunning. You just saw it with the war rig. It's beautiful. It goes together like an absolute freaking dream. And then your light infantry, your core of your army, is a bag of sadness and disappointment. I've got to paint the Sons of the Elder Bath. I haven't started painting them yet, in no small part because I'm starting with the Sea of Car stuff. And just looking at it, I'm just like, oh, God. I have to. I don't want to. That's never a good place to be. So I totally get it, Mike. Totally get it. No hand grenade from you that time. I tried Shatterpoint and it didn't quite do it for me. I love MCP though. I have a good friend who feels the opposite though. Yeah, it's all sorts of courses, isn't it? I have a good friend who is absolutely completely in love with Moonstone, and I love the aesthetic and the gameplay has zero interest for me. Not even remotely. Damn, that's the image I didn't need. Hydra on a beach in his branded Speedo sunning himself. Dude, like I didn't go to a nude beach. You're never sleeping again. So MCP is just the right weight and game length for me. Plus, I quite like Marvel. Yeah, I'm a Marvel fan. MCP is one of the ones that I don't get about me, because everything on there, technically, I should adore, and I can't even muster indifference to it. I'm like, fair enough. Anyway, we continue. It's really weird. I read the core rules of Shatterpoint and still don't quite understand building squads like. There's barely any modifications available. Yeah, He's just spotted the lava lamp. Yes, I've upgraded my light setup. I've upgraded that. I have a picture coming to go there, which you're going to love. And there's another picture that's already here, because I already own it, that's going to go there. I'm just waiting for the mounts for it. It's going to be great. I'm going to proper streamer. Like I said, I still haven't actually pulled the trigger on the offered sponsorship for me with the gamer drink. I haven't done that one yet. But when I do, I really feel that I'll be there. I need to find out what streamers are buying their t-shirts from, although clearly I should just wear an Only Dice t-shirt. That should be the thing we do. Yeah, no. Me, pause more wine to blank out. It won't work. Even if you drink till you pass out, you'll still wake up screaming. You're welcome. And the hangover won't be from the wine. Marvel does nothing for me, to be honest. Yeah, wow. Yeah, you're a rare beast, Robin. I get it. I get it. I get why not. But yeah, there's very few people in the world who have that indifference. I know people that hate it, and I know people that love it. But just, it's very rare. But then you are a unicorn, so it's hardly surprising. MCP is narrative. Right, okay. So I should love it. I should love it's a war game that's narrative that's in the Marvel Universe. So I'm loving all those things. Very strange. Very, 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 very strange. But, quick question. I just put on masking tape, spray over it with previous colour so the new coat of paint doesn't bleed under or nah. So if you're doing this onto a plastic miniature, it depends how fussy you want to be. There is a risk that you're going to pull the base coat off with the masking tape, because that can happen. So when I've done masking tape, I've actually used the stuff for wargaming. You can get stuff, it's not quite as tacky, it's not quite as sticky. But when I've wanted to go really heavily on it, what I've done is a big ass boat. Okay. What I've done is sprayed down the base colour, let it dry, then sealed it, put some varnish over the top of it, put another layer of varnish over the top of it, let that dry for a while, then masked it, then put the second colour, just to make sure it doesn't pull. It's literally 1.5 feet long. Yeah. You should be fine. You should be good. As long as the edges of your tape are pressed down reasonably well, not too hard, you're going to take the paint off anyway, but reasonably well, you shouldn't get bleed. And then you just, if you're airbrushing, you angle over the paint, if you see what I mean. Oh, sorry, over the tape. So if the tape's here, you go like that, because if you go like this, it just goes underneath, so you want to hit it like that, and you'll get a great level of success and a cleaner line, basically. So, Silly Putty also, yeah, but Silly Putty you can't necessarily get the straight, really, really, really straight line. It's great if you want to do like vehicle camo, if you're looking for a camo effect, but if you're looking for that crisp, just a perfectly arrow straight line, yeah, for small minis, agreed. And for camo, not for lines. But that's my view. Have a uses, have a moments, absolutely. But yeah, I did it. Like I said, I did a shed load of that kind of thing for Drop Zone Commander years ago. I was looking. Actually, funnily enough, I was looking at it earlier. Do I share this? Let's see if I can find it still. There's that one. There we go. Doink. Oh my days, look at it. Oh, it's happiness right there. Right, so let's see if I'm going to... Right, we're going to go... where's the thing? So we're talking about that one. There he is again. Look, everybody wave. Woo. So I think this one. Yes, there we go. So this is all Drop Zone Commander, and as you can see with the lines on it, it was all done... There we go, that's a better example. This is all done with masking tape. This is all done with some nice masking tape and slice down. Oh, those aren't the best pictures in the world. I missed that army so much. So much fun. I loved it with a passion. Will not go back into it. Will not go back into it. Hello, back in the room. But yeah, done well. Masking tape works really well. Very, very much so. Where's my other button? There's my other button. Yeah, plastic card can work as well. Absolutely. Absolutely can work very well. That's true. See, now I'm more melancholy about Drop Zone Commander. Will not place order for Drop Zone Commander. Do not need Drop Zone Commander. So, I'm going to show you one more cool thing before I go, because I am going to go. But this week, because I've got the review coming up, this is actually a bolt action thing. Although I know that Ice Bear Mini has already seen it. I'm currently putting together the new terrain for our friends at Micro Studio, because they have sent across, I showed it to you guys a couple of weeks ago when it was flat pack. They sent over the new Stalingrad stuff that they've got. But I just wanted to show this to you. Let me get this right. So like, it is absolutely stunning stuff. You see the plastic in the windows where it's all put together and this is all destroyed and all the rest of it. It's one nice building. What I love about it is that. So because Stalingrad was all blown apart, you have these buildings that just, they all sit together nicely and you can have them as a single, hang on, where are we? I'm going to do it in midair. You can have them as a single place sort of thing. And then if you want, you can have two sets of rooms and just pull them apart. And we have that, there's a school that you can do it with, and there's a factory that you can do it with and stuff like that. Such a cool idea, so funky. Got the review of that coming up really soon. Because I finished putting it all together now. So, yes, we've got that coming up. Some cool minis on, just stop it, Robin. Leave it alone, there is, I know. I used to play PHR and UCM and gorgeous miniatures. The Fireteam game TT Combat Kickstarted looks pretty cool as well. Yeah, Fireteam for Drop Zone. Because Drop Zone has Drop Fleet, which is the really like space stuff, but then you do the ground troopers, and then you have Drop Zone, which is the trooper stuff, which you can technically go from Drop Fleet to Drop Zone, so you can position yourself, drop your troops in, and then play the game with Drop Zone. And then we have the Fireteam, whatever it's called, which is individual troopers, I think at 30 or 35mm, something like that. But then you can do the whole thing. It's very, very cool. Also, I sent a picture of the current progress of the boat if you want to see the current progress. I will have a look for that one in a second. Where did you send it? There. You did it there. Oh wow, you have really, yeah, you have definitely. I love the way you're doing this by torchlight. Ah, you're going for a camo effect, in which case definitely going with Silly Putty is the way forward. Definitely is the way forward. Much, much better. If you don't need clear lines, do that. It is great, and it does the mass stuff, the new generation, this new generation mass stuff. I mean, it's like double walls. So you've got the interior print and the exterior print, and they're nicely kind of detailed and stuff. And yeah, the plastic on the windows and the destroyed doors, and it's just when they made the French stuff, when they made the Normandy stuff, it was really nice. This is a breed apart. It's even down to these window frames. There are multiple spare window frames and multiple spare types of cracked plastic. I don't know if you can see properly how the plastic is put together, like with the holes in this one and stuff. So if you buy multiple, you can have different window frames and it will look different. Subtly, but it will. And it's just that kind of, they've nailed it. That said, not cheap. Silly Putty is the way forward. If you're not trying to get nice crisp lines, Ice Bear Mini, then definitely go with Silly Putty. It's better than masking tape, because the masking tape will be potentially too gummy and pull the undercoat off. So that would be the way to go. Anyway, so there's a review of that coming up, which, as you can probably tell, is going to be, oh my god. To be honest with you, Robert, it's already got a new home. I have a full set, I have a full table of this and the previous Ostfront, so 6x4 pretty much, that you'll be able to do with these. I don't need a second bolt action table. I just don't need a second bolt action table. But there is so much regret when these go. There is so much regret. And they've just showcased as well that they're bringing some stuff out for the Pacific Theatre next year. They showed it unpainted at Spale. My God, that looked good. So tasty. So tasty. Anywho, only go because it's nearly 10 to midnight. I turn into a pumpkin around that time. I turn into a pumpkin, I actually turn into a 40k player at midnight, so let's not risk that one, eh? I just need to get your own terrain mat and everything. I'm always freeloading. You're a student, dude, I get it, it's all good. In your own time, because it's not cheap. This stuff is not cheap. You'll get there. It's all good. But if you haven't already, do please subscribe, become a member to the channel, because then I can do more bolt action content, because, you know, the biggest thing that I'm trying to get through before now, that I've said before, is I'm trying to get a editor so that I can get my videos edited externally away from me, because if I'm not doing it, I can make more videos and then go, you edit that, but that costs money, so I need your help to make that happen, because then I can do more stuff, get the bad reports, etc, etc. The storage you've had before. So if you've not already, please consider becoming a member of the channel or join on Patreon. Less than a cup of coffee a month, and it makes all the difference to me, and hopefully to you, because then more stuff coming your way. Nightwind, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining. All of you, thank you for joining. Neil, always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure. And we should talk. We should throw dice together. That would be rude not to. But I hope you all had fun. I hope this was interesting. We've been here for 2 hours and 46 minutes. I've taken enough of your time. You are a glorious human being, and you should have a great week. I hope you do. And I will see you all again next Monday. And there's 2 videos coming out this week. I think there's going to be a third one for members and patrons. Another reason you should join.